Style Tire.
There was plenty of excitement in Game 1 for the Tigers. Grayson Griner's first Major League RBI. Tigers also got a big home run from Jose Iglesias. That turned out to be the game winner. Don't forget Jacoby Jones, a terrific diving play in center field, a game saver as well. And the Tigers celebrating a victory in Game 1. Tonight, Game 2 of this doubleheader, Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba. Alongside Rod Allen, glad to have you with us. Game 1, well, about as well played as you can get from the Tigers' perspective. Now they got Fulmer in Game 2. Good win.
Absolutely a great win. Matthew Boyd was really good out there for the first 5 frames. Ran into a little bit of trouble there. And when he went out there for the 6th inning, but all in all, it was an outstanding game for him. Grayson Griner came up huge with a couple of big knocks, and Jacoby Jones made a game-saving catch in center field.
All right, now you got Michael Fulmer, as we mentioned, in Game 2 coming up here in the doubleheader. Michael, in his last start, was awesome through 5 innings, and all of a sudden things fell apart a bit.
You know, I thought Michael was going to go back to 2016 where he pitched his first complete game shutout in Texas. He was pitching that well 5 days ago, but then whatever happened in the 6th inning, it just happened. But take a look at the first 5 frames. I mean, the stuff was 97, 98. He was working up in the strike zone. He had only given up 1 hit in the game, and that was a home run. But he also had 1 base runner, which was a base on balls in the 2nd inning. So when he went back out there for the 6th inning, Mario, I don't know if it was the fact that he hadn't really worked in the stretch all afternoon long or what, but he really did not have a good inning. They had to go get him. Mike gives up 4 runs, but I know he's looking forward to getting back out there again to figure out exactly what happened in that 6th frame.
All right, Tigers have a chance to sweep a doubleheader. Game 2 in this DH coming up after a short break to the Call Sam Studios. We send you in Mickey York, and coming up here in Game 2, really good pitching matchup. We talked about Michael Fulmer. King Felix will oppose him. Tigers M's Game 2 next.
doubleheader, and the last time the Tigers saw King Felix, they had the Bernstein advantage. He only lasted 2 innings. The Tigers got 6 hits off him, scored 4 runs. That was last April 2017, a different lineup then, but the Tigers hoping to duplicate the same results here tonight. Mickey York back with you here in the Call Sam studio. Tigers took game 1 by a final of 4-3. They used 12 hits to beat the Mariners this afternoon. They hope to try to keep that offense rolling again here in the nightcap. They've now won 8 of their last 11 games here at Comerica Park, with a chance to sweep their first doubleheader of the season here tonight if they can beat Felix Hernandez in game 2. Tigers Live and the Tigers Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep. Hurry in to the Jeep Celebration event and get a great deal today. We're about ready to play baseball again. Game 2 starts next. Mario and Rod back with a call in the booth next. Start, they're running a tad behind, but we expect the first pitch to be thrown at any moment now. While we have a moment, we remind you the Tigers won game 1 by a final of 4-3 over the Seattle Mariners. Matthew Boyd went 6 innings this afternoon, struck out 6 to pick up his second victory of the season. It was an effort that pleased his manager exceedingly. Here's what Ron Gardenhire had to say about it just a moment ago.
Yeah, he was fantastic. You know, he changed speeds and had him off balance, and you know what got us into the 7th. I think he started off by hitting a guy and You know, we talked about those shutdown innings after we scored, and I think that's what he was more frustrated about than anything, is going back out there and getting a leadoff guy, and that doesn't taint his whole outing, though. He was really good for us. That's a good baseball team over there with a lot of really good hitters, and he pitched really, really well for us.
Cody, how pleased are you with the game that Grayson called for him?
He did a nice job. They worked really well together. You know, sit down and go over a game plan and get what they have to do with Boz back there. I like this young man catching. I think he does a really nice job back there. You know, when Greeny got in, you could see a little doubt, you know, with calling pitches, but he hasn't really caught him hardly at all. Maybe, you know, so there's going to have that a little bit. But I thought Grimes does a super job back there. He's really relaxed and handled himself very well.
What about Jimenez? I mean, he went against their 2, 3, and 4 of a pretty good lineup in the 8th inning.
Manager, wasn't it? Didn't you like that? I put him right in that spot.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I thought that was probably the best part of my managing job right there. Stuck the kid against all those boys. That's not what I intended to be, but, you know, he's our 8th inning guy, and he's rested, and, you know, he went right at him. I mean, fastball was jumping. It's through some nice sliders, and, you know, tip your hat. That's 3 big hitters.
Ron, did Bosio have to get Green to kind of back off the fastball there on Gordon there for that last hitter?
I wasn't, unfortunately, I can't be out there and listen to the conversation, but Boz, I told him we need to make a visit and you go do what you have to do. So, and Boz did his slow walk out there and he got it done. Whatever he told him, I don't care, it was fine. I'm sure he told him you go to backdoor pitches. I'm sure you got to use that cutter. And, you know, it worked. Whatever he said helped.
Was Jones begging you guys to challenge when he got thrown out at second base?
No, he was yelling downstairs. He was throwing helmets and stuff. He wasn't begging.
Jones's athleticism, though, is something to behold. I mean, you've talked about it all spring.
Great play in center field again. You know, I mean, jumps on the ball are incredible, to tell you the truth. And, you know, he might do some wacko things every once in a while, but, you know, we love him for it because he's really playing. Are you drinking my vodka over there? He might do some wacko things every once in a while, but we love it. I mean, because he plays with energy and he's some kind of talented kid.
Cody, as far as Game 2 here, how much are you looking forward to watching, you know, Michael duel against a guy like Felix Hernandez?
Yeah, this is a big pitching matchup. I've seen Felix for a long time, and great pitcher with great stuff and great competitor, and Michael's right there with him, I mean, as far as competitor goes. So, you know, it's going to be a tough night, a hard night to score runs, I hope, against us, and hopefully we'll figure out a way to get to Felix.
Ron, were you feeling a little uneasy because of the fact that the double plays and then Jacoby's base running area taking you out of what could have been some big innings? 12-3 the hits were at one point there.
Yeah, we misfired. We've had that trouble not getting them in, and, you know, we had some big moments early in the game. We had a chance. Hicksy was up, and, you know, first pitch curveball, and he swings at it, kind of looked like it fooled him, and he takes a swing anyway, hits into a double play. You know, I think we'll get better at that as we go along here. Those are the situations we're talking about with runners in scoring position, that you have to be a little more patient sometimes and get a pitch that you can drive. And I think he just kind of saw it and hesitated, and, you know, that was a big one early, I thought, because we had a chance to put a dent in him, and he's been swinging good. So, you know, we'll get better in those situations, I hope, as we go along here.
Boyd has stacked a few outings like this on top of each other. You at the point now where you expected? This is what you...
I think he really knows how to pitch. I think he's a very intense person. It might not seem like it. Seems like a nice person just walking around the clubhouse. But when he's on the mound, he's pretty intense. And when I went to get the ball from him, he was mad at himself because, you know, he hit the first hitter and he gave up that 2 runs right away back, or gave it back to him, and he was really upset with himself. But he's got good stuff, and he knows how to pitch, and that's a great hitting team over there. And, you know, he handled them pretty good, so good for him. It's good for us, too.
Did you feel fortunate that the Mariners didn't challenge that play when Jones slid into home plate?
I'm no comment. I'm not going to get involved in telling the other people what to do.
Boyd, against the right-handed lineup, though, that strong we had that slider biting in on him pretty good early, and wasn't quite as efficient through the remaining 3 innings. But how did you see that?
Well, you know, using the off-speed pitches against those guys, and, you know, that's kind of what, you know, a good lefty does. He has that deception. You know, he'll flip a fastball in there, and it might look like 100 after throwing some of those slow ones in the changeup. So he seems to read hitters pretty doggone good. And like I said, those are some really good hitters with really dangerous swings over there. So it was a good performance.
What new bodies will we see in Game 2?
New bodies? We don't know.
And faces.
We don't have that many bodies. We got Cosma's going to play shortstop. Hicksy's going to play first again. McCann's going to catch. And I think that's about all the bodies, as you said, we have. Goody's got a little bit of a hip problem, so we're going to try to get through that. I was planning on playing him, but he's got a little hip problem going on, so we're going to back off that, and he'll come off the bench if we need him, I hope, later.
Would Green be a go for Game 2 if you needed him?
Came in and said right away, I'm good. Just 10 minutes ago now, I'll talk with Boz about that, and we'll see through 20-something pitches. That's a lot of pitches, but we'll see.
Is James going to DH again?
No, he's catching. He's catching Fulmer. Yeah.
Victor
So,
DH?
yes, Victor will catch DH this game. He's actually one of our only guys that has actually at bats against this guy and has pretty decent numbers against him. So, yeah. So we planned that. Good planning.
Good managing.
Ron Gardenhire wrapping up his Game 1 post-game comments. Now he'll get ready to manage Game 2. And as he said, he's looking forward to tonight's pitching matchup between Michael Fulmer and Felix Hernandez. As a matter of fact, so are we. So let's get on with it, shall we? Send it upstairs to the booth. Mario Mbemba and Rod Allen, guys.
All right, Mick, thanks very much. The Tigers going for the sweep of the doubleheader. It's going to be Michael Fulmer trying to pitch him to it, and he is brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Michael Fulmer looking for his second win of the 2018 campaign. Checks in with a 3.51 earned run average. 256 is what the league is hitting against Michael. Michael has that fastball that gets all the way up to 98 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, he sits at 97. He's got a really good slider. He's got a really good changeup. So 3 above average major league pitches from Michael.
Here is the starting lineup he will face here in Game 2, brought to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be D. Gordon again leading off. Haniger batting second. Cano hitting third. Cruz will clean up. Seager is at third, followed by Healy in a bottom 3 that looks a bit different. Gamble, Freitas, and Romine will round it out for the Seattle Mariners.
Oakland University brings you the Tigers' starting defense, and it's pretty much the same way they lined up in Game 1. Ma took in left. Jacoby Jones made a spectacular catch in Game 1. Game-saving catch, as a matter of fact. He's back out in the center. Nicholas Castellanos in right. Candelario at third. Cosma gets to start at shortstop. Machado Hicks in the infield, along with James McCann, who DH'd in the first game, catching Fulmer in the nightcap.
Well, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment coming up later in tonight's game.
Tigers did a magnificent job in the first game of keeping D. Gordon off the base paths.
Always a key to stopping the Seattle offense. It'll be Gordon, Haniger, and Cano here in the second game, leading things off, facing Michael Fulmer.
And pretty much Fulmer, when he goes against left-handers, about 63% of the time, he's going to give you that fastball in the first pitch.
Swing and a miss, and Game 2 is underway. Fastball at 96. Gordon batting .331, was 0 for 4 in the opener, had an RBI. He drove one in with a sac fly. And Fulmer missing outside, 1 ball in, 1 strike.
5 days ago against the Texas Rangers, Michael Fulmer for the first 5 frames was sensational. And just about every fastball he threw was 95 and above. As a matter of fact, all 3 of his fastballs in this contest, 95 and above.
Michael in against Seattle in his career has faced them twice. This will be his 3rd time. 0-1 with a 2.38 ERA versus Seattle. Did he go? They will appeal. Did not. Roberto Ortiz said he held up. 2-2 on D. Gordon. Haniger and then Cano. That slap back out of play. 2-2. The count stays on Gordon, who came into the series 2nd in the American League in hits. Only Jose Altuve had more hits than D. Gordon. Another one fouled back out of play down the left field line. The Tigers, in winning the first game here today, snapped a 6-game losing streak dating back to last year against Seattle. Mariners had their number.
And Tigers also with that win here today. And their record now over 500 at home.
Gordon backs out of there and a ball inside, and the count fills now 3-2.
Every last pitch that he has thrown to D. Gordon, all 7 of them have been fastballs.
Here's the full count pitch. Pulled on the ground at first, knocked down there by Hicks. Fulmer gets over to cover, 1 gone. It's another bullet hit right at Hicks, who's taken a couple off the chest today.
Hicks probably thought his toughest position was being a catcher, but not so today. I mean, that's about the 3rd or 4th ground ball in his direction that he's either bounced up and hit him in the glove or bounced up and hit him in the chest.
At least behind the plate, he's got a chest protector on.
That's right.
Not so at first, but he's smiling about it. Mitch Haniger will stand in now. Haniger walked in the opener, was 0 for 3, batting .290, 10 home runs this year for Haniger. And he'll look at his strike, 0-1. Haniger was batting .5 in the opener. He's up to number 2 in the lineup, the nightcap. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Matthew Boyd kept all the Seattle Mariners bats quiet for the most part in the first game of the doubleheader. Matthew Boyd gave up 3 hits, and most of the hits were just real soft contact.
Over through it, 1-2 now on Haniger. There are only 2 guys in the American League right now that have at least 10 homers and 30 RBIs. Haniger is one of them, and D.D. Gregorius the other.
D.D.
He's having quite a year, although he's slowed a bit lately for the Yanks. Meanwhile, Fulmer coming out throwing 96 on the gun here in a chilly evening. Cano hands out a souvenir. Haniger watches that one slide outside, 2-2.
And that was a slider there at 87 miles an hour as King Felix gets ready to take the mound for his team tonight.
Another slider low and away, and the count fills 3-2. Did not go. Robinson Cano waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. On the ground, base hit right field. Out of the reach of Machado. It's a 1-out single. Haniger has his first hit of the doubleheader. Now Cano, who doubled but did not score in the opener. Cano with 3 homers this year. He has knocked in 20. Cano has always had a pretty good on-base percentage, .386 coming into play in the doubleheader today.
He's been in the big leagues for 12 years and came into this season over 300 as far as the batting average is concerned. Over 500 doubles, 300 home runs.
Cano, it seemed like, would never leave the New York Yankees until he signed that big deal. Looked like he might be a Yankee for his career. Had a lot of good years with the Yanks.
I don't think he really wanted to leave New York, but the Seattle Mariners offered him so much more money than New York did. He almost had to go.
And I remember when Seattle signed him, we thought, wow, of all the teams, Seattle.
Right.
Now Fulmer's 1-1. Cano takes high.
I believe Jay-Z negotiated that contract for Robinson Cano.
Yep. Carlos Torres, your home plate umpire. Paul Nark, Kerwin Danley, Roberto Ortiz. The four-man crew for the nightcap. Ball high, and now the count goes 3-1. So Fulmer about to throw his 20th pitch here in the first inning. Here's the 3-1. And a strike on the outer edge. 3-2 on Cano.
Outstanding pitch by Michael. Having a difficult time with the fastball to Cano, so he throws him a nice little changeup here, a little fading changeup, and catches the plate. Count now 3-2. Haniger more than likely will be on the move.
Full counts on all three batters so far. Runner does go. Bouncing ball up the middle. Machado has only one play. They stay out of the double play as Cano is out 4-3. 2 away now with a runner at second for Nelson Cruz. Cruz had his 9-game hitting streak snapped in the opener. .240 batting average on the year, a power threat, 7 home runs. It'll dart low and away. 1 ball and no strikes on Cruz.
17 regular season home runs for Cruz against the Tigers pitching staff since he's been in the big leagues, but 8 more in the postseason. 8 in the postseason.
Well, he had some big ones with Texas against the Tigers. Swing and a miss.
Also a couple big ones with Baltimore, I believe.
Yep. For whatever reason, he has been dialed in against the Tigers over his career.
Well, he was one of those guys that really didn't hit his stride until he was almost 30 years old. Late bloomer.
Fouled away. Yeah, he had a ton of minor league at bats before he even got to the big leagues. And a great example of, I guess, it's never really too late. Cruz has put up great numbers at the major league level. 9 straight years of 20 or more home runs. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. That'll score the run. RBI single with 2 outs for Nelson Cruz, and the Mariners lead 1-0. Haniger comes around to score.
That's a breaking ball that gets a little bit too much plate. It's 86 miles an hour, and it's a nice job of hitting there by Cruz, who stays with it and hits it right back up the middle. You could tell Michael a little dejected, but then he had to realize he's got to go back up that base.
Here's Corey Seager. Ball 1.
They have made Michael work to the tune of 26 pitches, partner, here in the first frame.
Well, that's something that certainly the Mariners are happy about. And you see the breakdown here, 11 balls, 15 strikes. The 1-0. Popped up foul. This will get back toward the seats. Fulmer in his last start in Texas went 92 pitches. He's been over 100 just once this year. Did strike out 7 in that last start against the Rangers, but gave up 5 runs. Now the 1-1. 2-1. Seager 0 for 2 in the opener, was on base twice, walked in, was hit by a pitch. Tigers won the opener 4-3. The 2-1 is outside now, 3-1. And Michael continues to labor here in the first inning. Ryan Healy waiting on deck. Strike called. Ooh, he let go with the bat. Seager threw his bat to the on-deck circle. That's not going to make Torres happy.
And it's a nice job there by McCann pulling that ball up into the strike zone. It's called stealing a strike, and that's why Corey sees. That's why he's not happy.
No, that was clearly outside, but nice job there by McCann. And Seager still chapped about that. 3-2 with 2 outs. Runner will be on the move here. Pitch number 31 for Fulmer. And he got him, strike 3. And Seager doesn't like that one either. And he's given Torres an earful. Mariners get a run on the RBI hit by Cruz. Will go to the bottom of the first. Starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Couple of changes for the nightcap. Matuk, Candelario, Castellanos, your top 3. Vimart back in there. Bottom 3 of Jones, Cosman, and Machado. That's where most of the changes are in the Tigers starting lineup here for Game 2. And they are facing Felix Hernandez, presented tonight by MGM Grand Detroit.
Well, Felix will be pitching a little bit differently here than a lot of Tigers fans remember. No longer does he have the 96 to 98 mile per hour fastball. He has about 90 to 91. Still has a plus changeup. Still has a real good breaking ball. And that's how he'll pretty much try to maneuver his way through this Tigers lineup tonight.
He'll go to work against Mikey Matuk, who pops it up third base side, and it's going to be caught by the shortstop Romine. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Seattle Mariners starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. In the outfield, Gamble gets the start in left. He pinch hit in the first game. Gordon is in center field. Haniger is back out in right field. And the infield reads Seager, Romine, Cano, and Healy. And David Freitas is the starting catcher.
Here is Jamer Candelario now. They played a pull on the infield, shifting against Candy, who looks at ball 1. There you go. Romine swung around to the right side of second. Candy 0 for 3 with a walk in the opener. It'll dart low, and the count goes 2-0. Jamer's on-base percentage still at a very good .364. Coming into play here in the nightcap. And Felix missing outside again. 3-0 the count. Now Hernandez with the 3-0. Walked him on 4 straight. Tigers have a man on, a man out. How about the Ram pick the stick selections for game 2? I'm going to go with Nick Castellanos. Rod's got who, Candy?
I took Candy.
Gibby's got McCann. Johnny's got Hicks. Mickey with V-Mart and Pete Cosmo with Simo.
Look out, Simo.
Wow. Cosmo homered in his first game with the Tigers in Texas. Chilly one here tonight for the nightcap. Here is Castellanos. Nicholas with 2 hits in the opener, both singles. That'll miss inside 1-0, so that's 5 straight balls now thrown by Hernandez.
And Felix Hernandez these days about 46% with his fastball to the left-handers and the right-handers, and a mixture of changeups and curveballs and sliders as his off-speed pitches. There was a time where this guy was simply one of the best right-handers in the game for about a 5-year stretch there.
I would agree, and I remember his, and I'm sure you two do too, Ron, the first start he ever made in the big leagues was right here.
I remember that. Was 19 years old, wasn't he?
19 years old back in 2005, and there was so much said about Felix Hernandez. And he went on to put up some, as you mentioned, really good stretches.
He's also one of those guys that has had to make that transition from being a power pitcher into, you know, being more of a pitcher per se, with, you know, just kind of using your fastball on occasion and using a lot of breaking balls and fastball counts, and as vice versa as fast as the fastballs are. So everybody has to change.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Castellanos. So Felix has thrown 8 pitches, 6 have missed the strike zone. Here are the major league ranks since 2005 for Hernandez.
A lot of innings in that right arm. 383 starts.
Oh, he hit him. Castellanos drilled on the hand.
Oh, no way.
Man, you could hear the pop all the way up here.
Oh, my goodness.
And here comes Doug Teeter racing out of the Tigers dugout to see if Costy's all right.
Man, the Tigers, man, already have a couple of guys on the disabled list. Leonis Martin and Mickey. Let's hope that one didn't get him where we thought it did. That's a changeup. Got him right on the, yeah.
Not a whole lot of meat on that part of your hand. Tigers will have 2 men on. Nick will stay in the game. Take a listen. Man. So in Texas, he got drilled in the knee, and now back home here, there was the shot he took off his left knee.
A lot of teams have been pitching Nicholas very aggressively inside, although that pitch from Felix was a changeup that faded in and hit Nicholas. It was not a fastball. Tigers in business here in the very first inning.
Here is Victor Martinez. He sends a ground ball foul. Victor did not play in the opener. Back in there in the nightcap. .320 career against Seattle with 13 homers. M's looking for the ground ball here. Now the 0-1. 0-2 on Victor. Chevrolet's most dependable player is Victor Martinez. When you look at the career numbers against Seattle, 320, 61 driven in.
OPS of nearly 900.
Now Hernandez with the 0-2. Did he go? Yes, says home plate umpire Carlos Torres. He struck him out. Not sure about that. Did he go?
What looked like Mr. Ortiz could have got some help from Kerwin Danley.
2 gone. That replay looked like he did go. So here's McCann with 2 away. James back behind the dish here in game 2. He was the DH in game 1. McCann extending his hitting streak to 9 straight. Breaks off a breaking ball, ball 1. Mack at 279 in the batting average column. Drives this one in the air towards center field, but Deke Gordon is over there to make the catch. And that'll end the inning. We'll go to the second. Michael Fulmer back at the hill, and he's done some good in the community. We'll talk about that next. Heroes. Michael Fulmer is a member of Carhartt's starting rotation, which donates $100 to Helmets to Hard Hats for every strikeout. Of course, Michael's cousin is a member of the Marine Corps, so our hats off to Michael Fulmer. He has had a good start to his career, and he gave up a run here in the first inning tonight. He'll go back to work. Ryan Healy will start things off, and Healy looks at a strike.
And speaking of Michael Fulmer, your MVP program kicks off again on Monday, doesn't it?
Yeah, we had one back in April, and the second one will be Monday. That's 30 veterans will be here at the ballpark.
You're going to order up some better weather for them this time?
I cannot control that, sir. All I can do is hand out the tickets and hope they enjoy the game. But yeah, it was freezing back in April. And it hadn't been much better here on this current homestand. 1-1 pitch, wave and a miss, 1-2.
And Michael threw quite a few pitches in that first frame, and the majority of the pitches were all fastballs. I mean, about 75% fastballs, 95 and above. And the Seattle Mariners were able to get 1 run off of him. Looks like he's already made it a conscious decision here in the second frame that he's not going to try to overpower them with fastballs, but he's going to pitch more than he did in that first inning. I mean, he was throwing a lot in that first inning.
Yeah, trying to get the pitch count back in line. 31 first inning pitches. Ball high, 2-2. Sliced out of play.
A couple of starts ago, Michael Fulmer threw 109 pitches, and the opposing team fouled off 44 of the 109. And it looks like the Seattle Mariners are on that same kind of page here tonight. They fouled off a lot of pitches already against Michael Fulmer.
Yeah, that start was against the Rays. He ended up going 6 innings in 109 pitches. Gave up 2 runs. Just off the plate, 3-2 now on Healy.
Yeah, Michael thought he had strike 3 there. Had a long look in for Carlos Torres.
Swing and a miss. Got him to chase.
Mariners squad is screaming for a foul ball there. Said that ball hit the ground.
Well, I heard something, but I thought that was the glove. He may have fouled that off. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy, he fouled that off. And it hit the ground.
Yeah, Manny's trying to get him to get some help.
Ball clearly changed directions on that first replay we saw. You'll see it here. Yeah, that's a foul ball. Tigers get a break.
Now, why can't they get help on that?
I don't know, and I think that's what the Mariners want. They're simply saying, go down to first to Paul Nartz. Get some help.
I mean, the bottom line is you want to get it right.
Tigers will take it. Gamble looks at a strike 0-1. Not sure how you can't hear that. We heard that up here. Of course, the microphones help. There's a strike called 0-2 now on Gamble. Gamble did not start the opener. It came on as a pinch hitter and remained in the game. Had 2 at-bats, drew a walk, knocked in a run. Fouled away.
Good fastball there at 95 inside. Michael not afraid to pitch inside. There's Manny Acta managing for Scott Service. And their manager's away with his daughter who's graduating from college.
You know, we were talking about Manny Acta and the job he did in Cleveland, and I think both you and I agree. We thought he did a really good job with the Indians.
Yeah, I do too. Both of his opportunities, he's had rebuilding teams. He had a rebuilding team in Washington. He also had a rebuilding team in Cleveland. He really hasn't had an opportunity to manage a team that is expected to win, but he'll get another opportunity to manage, in my opinion. He did interview for one job in the winter, and that was the New York Mets. Obviously, that job went to Mickey Callaway, but there's no doubt that Manny Acta will get another manager's job.
A little bit outside.
If you weren't with us in the opening game, Ichiro Suzuki is the bench coach today.
Here's the 1-2. And he got him strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts now for Fulmer. Call Sam call of the game. Well, you mentioned it. Look who brought the lineup card out.
Ichiro.
Now, as far as the bench coach duties, how many of them do you think he's actually performing? This might be it right here.
0. He's talking to Ron Gardner. He said, wear your team out when you manage Minnesota. How many hits did I get against you guys?
He wore a lot of teams out. Just to wear you out. Machado throws out Freitas, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Michael Fulmer. John Hicks had a double in game 1. He'll lead things off in the bottom of the second. Here is John Hicks to get things started now for the Tigers in the second. Hicks, Jones, Cosma facing the right-hander Felix Hernandez, who threw 14 first-inning pitches, but despite a walk and a hit batter, was able to pitch out of it. Felix now is 32 years old, far removed from that 19-year-old youngster that made his first major league start here. He pulls one outside, ball one on Hicks. Big John 2 out of 4 with a double in the opener. Batting a solid .262. Driven to center field. Gordon is on the move, still going back. He'll get there, fall down, and hold on. One away.
And D. Gordon is a second baseman by trade. This is the first time he's ever played in center field. He doesn't take the best routes out there, but he always makes up for it with his speed. This time he slipped down and appeared to twist his ankle a little bit, making that catch off the bat of James McCann. Excuse me, that was Hicks.
It's about the only thing that can slow down Gordon. Twisting his ankle. Here is Jacoby Jones.
I know you guys were talking about this a couple of days ago. I think Bartolo Colon, has maybe 247 wins, I think. Maybe that's the number. It's close to that anyway. But I don't think we're going to see another 300-game winner. And if Felix is not going to get there, and he started at age 19,
right?
No one's going to get there, in my opinion.
Chopper to the shortstop. Gloving. Romine. Safe.
Nice hustle, Jacoby.
Infield hit for Jones.
Jacoby can beat you in so many ways. I mean, we showed him getting that hustling double in the very first game. And then he hits this ball off the end of the bat, and he is sprinting down that line. He's sniffing base hit. Romine knows Jacoby can run. He couldn't get out of his glove, and Jacoby with another infield single.
Now Pete Cosma.
Did you agree with that? Do you think our days are done where we might not see another 300-game winner?
You know, you never say never, I suppose, but I just don't see how it can happen. And you made a great point. I mean, you've got a guy here in Felix Hernandez, got to the big leagues at 19.
And was dominant.
And was dominant for such a long stretch. I mean, it is so hard. You've got to pitch into your 40s now.
You got to pitch for 20 years and win at least 15 games a year.
Right. Think about that. Yeah, I'd agree.
And then now with all the specialization in the bullpens and whatnot, you know, starters, that doesn't let the starters go through the third time through the batting order anymore.
No. Game has changed. Here's the 1-0 to Cosma. 2-0.
Good hit and run count if you want to do some. Put a runner in motion. Jacoby also has enough speed to steal second base if Ron Gardenhire wants to turn him loose. Jacoby does have the green light. Only on certain occasions will Ron Gardenhire give him the stop sign. Got a pretty good lead.
Driven to left field. That'll get down and go to the wall. Jacoby coming to third. They're going to try and score him. Here comes Jones to the plate. He will score. Double RBI for Pete Cosma. 1-1 ball game.
Cosma got himself in a 2-0 fastball friendly count and opened them hips up and turned on that ball, and it whistled off the gate down the left field corner. Now look at Jacoby Jones now. He gets to second with a perfect turn there. He gets over to third with a perfect turn there as well, and not even a play on Jacoby Jones at home because of the blazing speed he has.
And that's got to be a dream for Dave Clark at third base, knowing that the guy running toward him is going all out. It makes his decision a lot easier.
That's all you ask of a third base coach. You want your guys to come hard so you can make a decision on whether you should score them or not.
Here is Dixon Machado trying to drive in the go-ahead run. Time call now, and we'll get a mound visit from the catcher Freitas. Carlos Torres pulls out the pen and marks one mound visit. Dixon looks at a breaking ball strike. Machado 1 for 3 in game 1. Good block. Afraid to slow down on that ball and smothered it. Felix last year on the DL a couple of times. Because of that, made only 16 starts last year. And that one is hitting a left base hit. Cosma coming to third. They're going to send him home. The throw is not in time. Machado will go to second. It's 2-1 Tigers. And now to Johnny Kane with a Jeep game break.
Yeah, Marty, I'll say Dixon Machado's having a heck of a day. Earlier, before game 1, he was honored as a Detroit Sports Media 2017 Tigers Rookie of the Year. There's our very own Trevor Thompson, along with some board members, presenting Dixon Machado with that award. Some of the past winners, Michael Fulmer, Nick Castellanos, JV. How about Simo, former Detroit Sports Media Rookie of the Year. So a nice afternoon for Dixon Machado, who's keeping it rolling right now.
They'll go as a single RBI E7. So Machado says, yep, I got that award, and there's why. Making it 2-1 in favor of the Tigers. That throw by Gamble was wide, and that allowed Dixon to go to second.
Have they already had 2 mound visits?
That's the second in this inning, yes. Now they've got 4 left. You know, catchers really have to be judicious with their mound visits, because obviously pitching coaches want to keep as many possible. But as we talked about in game 1, I don't think we've really ever seen too many cases this year where they have run out or were running short late in games. Now the 1-0.
I haven't heard much, but has it improved the pace of play? I really haven't heard a lot of grumblings about long games this year as of yet.
I don't know that this has improved the pace of play at all. Personally, I think it'll have very little effect on that. Now the 2-0. Way outside. 3-0 now on Matuk.
And Felix has thrown 27 total pitches, and he's missed the strike zone with 15 of those. He's only thrown 12 strikes. So Tigers are doing a very nice job of making Felix come to them. They're not chasing those pitches out of the zone. If you're wondering about the arm strengths of the outfielders, Gamble in left's got a pretty good arm. D. Gordon in center field surprisingly has an above average arm, but it's tough to throw guys out from center field. And Haniger has a strong arm in right.
Felix's ERA climbing every year. Another strike on Matuk. 3-2. Tigers fell behind 1-0 in the first. They have scored 2 here in the second. Then again, it's the bottom of the lineup that's getting it done. Fouled away.
And Tigers trying to do something to the Seattle Mariners that no other team has been able to do to them on the road this year, and that's win a series.
And it's our Menards big money encounter. 5-0-2 in the road series this year. They have not lost one. Arizona, the Angels, the other 2 teams that have not lost a road series. Look out. And Matuk will get a walk. It'll put 2 men on now.
Victor Reyes is up on that on deck circle. It looks like Nicholas Castellanos is done for the day after being hit his first time up today. I'm sure once we get word on what the x-rays look like, we'll pass them on to you.
In the meantime, here is Candelario. Still only one out, and that out was a deep fly ball off the bat of John Hicks that was run down by the center fielder Gordon. Candy a walk in the first inning. Swing and a miss. Fulmer given some offense here. Tigers lead 2-1.
Candelario leads the team in walks with 17.
Yeah, not surprising with some of the at-bats we have seen him take this year. On base percentage is up there. Oh, 0-2, Jamer. Fouled away.
If you're Dixon Machado, you need to make sure that if Felix does throw a breaking ball up, then he bounces it. You got to be able to get over to third base. And if you're Matuk, you have to make sure that you get over to second. Felix likes to throw lots of breaking balls in this particular count.
Got him, strike three, and Jamer knew it. 2 gone.
Well, here's why Reyes is in the game now. It's been a rough week for Nicholas. It started in Texas on Tuesday. It was hit on the knee and didn't play on the afternoon game on Wednesday. Had a couple of days off to heal. Then in tonight's game, his first time up, a changeup got away from Felix and hit him right on, looked like that left pinky area.
Reyes 130 so far this year in the average column. And Victor looks at a breaking ball strike. So the Tigers now without Martin, without Cabrera, they're both on the DL, and Nick had to leave the game here tonight. I mean, if you're Art Gardenhire, man, you've gone through a stretch here now where it's just real tough keeping your starters in the game.
Yeah, Jordan Zimmerman also has to miss some time.
Wilson with that plantar fascia problem.
And that all happened on the last road trip.
Right. Here's Zim, who's optimistic that he won't miss a lot of time. Saw Willie today, didn't have the boot on. They were letting him walk around without the boot. But he may be a little longer. Swing and a miss. Reyes is out of there, and that'll end the inning. Tigers scored 2, though, and grabbed the lead. Ticket to every Tigers home game from June through September for as little as $29.99 per month. If you'd like to order the digital ballpark pass, go to tigers.com/pass and take advantage of it. Well, the Tigers have a 2-1 lead now as the former Tiger, Andrew Romine, stands in. Romine, Gordon Haniger facing Fulmer, and that's pounded foul back out of play, 1-1.
And Romine had a pretty good day just a couple of days ago, had 3 hits. And for his ball club in Toronto. Victor Reyes takes over in right field.
1-2 on Romine. A finger contusion is the official word on Mr. Castellanos. 174 for Romine. Here's the 1-2. And it missed high. 2-2 the count. Romine, a whale of a utility man for the Tigers over the years. High ball 3. Romine started the year 0 for 14. He got his first hit against the Angels, a double. And he's got himself a walk. Leadoff man on, and Craig Monroe joins us now field side. And he got on Mr. Fulmer, Simo. The pitch count is elevated early on here.
It is a little bit, guys, but that's one guy, when he takes the bump, I don't worry about. He is so good at making the adjustments in game. He'll make the adjustment. He'll get back to pounding the strike zone, and he'll keep these boys off balance. And he'll give the Tigers a chance to win a baseball game.
Well, he's got D. Gordon now with the tying run on here, nobody out. Fouled off, 0-1. See, while we were talking, Rod and I, earlier about how it seems like Fulmer now has a lot of pitches fouled off, and we saw that a lot with JV. What is it about guys like JV or Fulmer that elicit so many foul balls?
Well, I think you got to give the hitters in the batter's box a lot of credit. They know that they're not going to get many pitches to hit, and so what they've recognized is that they need to shorten their swings. And if Fulmer or Verlander, as you alluded to, if they make mistakes or good quality pitches, you just try to spoil them off and hoping that they make a mistake.
Opposing teams also starting to take a lot more pitches against Michael Fulmer, trying to pile that pitch count up, trying to get him out of the game. By the 6th inning, that was a tactic that they also employed against Justin Verlander when he was a little younger.
Fulmer has had 5 3-ball counts already in this contest. Although he had a 1-2-3 second, which got his pitch count back in order a little bit. Gordon showing bunt, snap throw, runner back.
If you didn't see Michael's last start, for the first 5 innings of the game against Texas, all he had given up was a solo home run, and he had walked 1 batter. And he was absolutely dealing. I mean, he was pitching some of the best baseball we'd ever seen Michael pitch. And all of a sudden, he goes back out there for the 6th inning, and he said he just could not find the strike zone.
Well, a lot of times in Texas, you will say it's the heat where guys maybe get fatigued, but that was a really gorgeous night by Texas.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was much of a factor. Here's his breakdown right now.
He walked the leadoff hitter in that particular inning in the 6th. That would be DeShields, and then he had to go into the stretch really for the 2nd time all day, and it just seemed like him not being in the stretch pretty much all afternoon may have had something to do with his control issues that day.
Gordon slaps it foul.
Well, guys, also, I don't think we give the hitters in the batter's box enough credit. Listen, Michael Fulmer is an elite pitcher in this game. But when these guys walking in the batter's box, they're some of the most elite hitters in the game. And if you're not locating your pitches, if you're not changing speeds and keeping me off balance, and you continue to make mistakes over the heart of the plate, I will make you pay. And so let's not get it totally twisted. The guys in the batter's box can swing it.
Well, Machado able to knock that one down, but makes no play, and that'll be an infield hit for Gordon.
Yeah, see, they got nice cars in their parking lot, too.
Absolutely. They're driving Mercedes and Bentleys and all that too. So I mean, like I said, Michael Foreman is outstanding, guys. I look forward to watching him pitch every time he takes a bump, but I feel like we got to start giving our hitters in the batter's box a little bit more credit. These guys are making adjustments. They see him the first time. Yes, he's got overpowering stuff, but they get themselves in good hitting position, and when he makes a mistake, they're making him pay. It's the game of baseball. You love it. You got to love it.
Well, with 2 on now, here is Mitch Haniger, nobody out. Machado almost made a great play on that ball.
He sure did.
Haniger singled, scored a run in the first.
D. Gordon been hitting the ball extremely hard most of the day, but really has nothing to show for it.
Oh, they've ruled that an error, so it's not a base hit for Gordon. E4. Strike 1 on Haniger. Numbers on Matt Boyd in game 1, 6 innings, 3 runs. He struck out 6. Now Fulmer with the 0-1. Fouled away.
I want to take one look at the air off the bat of D. Gordon. Ball hit extremely hard. He tries to backhand it, not able to make the play.
I got to rule that a base hit.
It's looking like a base hit to me as well.
Well, if I'm the hitter, I want the base hit.
Yeah,
if I'm
for
Michael
sure.
Fulmer, no, it's an error. Make the play. Not true, guys. That ball was hit absolutely hard.
0-2 on Haniger. Slow roller towards short. Cosma fires to second. They get the out there. That is a good play by Pete Cosma.
Great play by Pete Cosma. It's the only play that Pete Cosma has. And when he came to spring training this year, the Tigers knew they had somebody at shortstop or second base that could absolutely catch that baseball in Pete Cosma. Sent him down to minor leagues. Now he's back in the big leagues. Makes a nice play there, getting that ball to Dixon Machado for the force out.
So the 30-year-old veteran, St. Louis Cardinals, his first organization now with the Tigers, makes a nice play there. And here is Robinson Cano.
And not only that, he was able to throw D. Gordon out with that play.
Right.
And it keeps a double play in order.
Cano bounced out his first time up. Ball 1. Cano now 1-4-5 in this doubleheader. Only one second baseman has hit more home runs than Cano, and that would be Jeff Kent. You look at a ball high, 2-0. Hall of Famer here when he's ready to hang it up. Simo, what do you think?
There's no question. If he stops today, guys, he's in Hall of Famer. He's one of the few guys that play this game at this level that has the ability to make this game look easy.
That he does. Got himself a 2-0 count as Fulmer goes back to the bag.
How can someone, Simo, make the game look as easy as Cano does, as difficult as this game is to play?
Well, first of all, he is comfortable in his own skin. He knows exactly who he is as a person, as a player, and he doesn't allow the moment to be too big for him, Ra.
2-1.
What do you got on these helmets everybody's wearing now? See, would you have worn one of these face protecting helmets when you played? Had they been fashionable?
There's no question I would have, because guys, I had trouble turning into the baseball. Like, I would always be the guy that let the ball continue to follow me as I tried to bail out of there when that two-seam fastball kept running in. So no, I love the fact that the guys are protecting themselves, and it should make you more comfortable in the batter's box.
Are you surprised that all these guys are wearing that protective helmet these days?
No, I'm not, because I think now we're not seeing a lot of four-seam fastballs in the game today, Rod. We're seeing a lot of two-seam fastball, and those two-seamers have a lot of movement on it, and you're watching guys try to get back to the old school way of where they're trying to move your feet, make you uncomfortable in the batter's box. And we're seeing them challenge guys on the inner half to open up the outside. So no, I think it's smart for the players in the batter's box now to have that protection.
Cano sends a ground ball to short. Cosmo flips to second one, and a double play. That'll get him out of the inning. Cool moment in Pittsburgh last night. We'll let you hear it when we come back.
Batting second, right fielder, number 22, Andrew McCutchen.
Pretty cool moment last night in Pittsburgh.
I don't know that we've ever seen it.
As McCutchen goes back after joining being traded to the Giants. That was quite a reception.
He did a lot for the city of Pittsburgh. Not only was he an outstanding baseball player, winning an MVP and in that conversation every year.
Deke Gordon will haul this one in.
He did a lot of things in the community. That man gave of his time, his money, and the people of Pittsburgh really appreciate it. See, you played there a little bit in Pittsburgh.
I did, and I actually was there with Andrew McCutchen, guys, and he was the face of that organization. They absolutely adored this young man. The smile, the flair, the way he played the game. They can truly appreciate him. He's a gritty kind of guy, and it was on display every time he took the field. And so for that reason, the Pirates welcomed him back with open arms, and that was a special feeling that I'm sure that Andrew McCutchen received when he got the standing ovation.
How's your seat down there with the new netting that's been implemented here at the stadium?
You know what, my view is extremely well, and I was thinking about that right as I got down here, and I go, well, how are the boys going to be able to give some foul ball, some balls over to the fans? And well, I just saw John Hicks come in, he gets the ball, he's running towards the dugout, and then he just has to throw it over the screen.
That is line to Gamble for out number 2.
I kind of like it, though. My reflex is slowing down a little bit, so when I go down there, I ain't got to worry about getting hit no more.
Oh, no, Rod, don't tell the people that. You got cat-like reflexes, baby. You know how to make moves.
Wait a minute, it's slowing down a little bit. If you're like me, they've slowed down a lot a bit.
Well, for me, guys, I'm excited that the Major League Baseball did put the screens up, because one of the worst feelings is when you're in the batter's box and you absolutely hammer ball. Maybe you're way out front, maybe you're late, and the ball goes in the stands and you see it hit somebody. It is heartbreaking. Oh, you just hate it as a player.
You know, I've had a lot of fans, not a lot, but a few fans tell me, you don't know what it's like. You sit up in that nice booth every night. You have a great view every night. Us fans down here, we hate it. But then I'm thinking, you know what? You're being kept safe.
Yes.
And isn't that the most important thing?
I think so, Mario.
1-1 is low, 2-1 on Hicks.
But I love the interaction with the fans. I love that they can get close to you. That's how you build good, I think, city, team, chemistry, all that. You know, you want them to be close and feel like we're all part of the family. But as a family member, you want to protect them.
No doubt.
Simo, what do you have on Felix? I know you faced King Felix before.
I did. I faced him when he was a young man, Rod. This is when he was overpowering. He didn't necessarily need to locate. He would throw 97, 98, two-seam fastballs in, out, and then put me away with sliders.
Hammer to left field, and on a dive, one-hop play by Gamble. Hicks will get a base hit.
But now, Rod, he's more of a finesse guy. His fastball is at 89. Kind of takes me back to the days when you're facing guys like Greg Maddux. You know, you're over in New York, CC Sabathia, we used to be a flamethrower. Now these guys they have to rely on location. They have to pitch ahead in the count. There's a 3-1 count there, and Hicksy got a pitch he can handle, and he absolutely hammered to left field. So now the King has to make sure that he locates those pitches and try to keep you off balance with changing speeds.
Here is Jones. So who would you guys rather face? The guy that throws 96, 97, or the guy that can really pitch with the changeup and the breaking ball?
I like the fastball. I'll take that guy.
Yeah, I want the guy that thinks he can blow that cheese by me, Mario, because he likes it. That means that he's going to try to challenge me. And if he doesn't put it in a good spot, you can't sneak that cheese by this rat. I'm trying to get it.
Guys that would throw you any pitch in any situation, those guys gave you fits because you really could never sit on anything. You really couldn't protect the entire plate. You'd have to pick a side. If he never came to you that night, it was going to be a long night. So I like the guys that try to give you fastballs.
1-1 Jones. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Jacoby, an infield single, hustling out of the box. He beat it out and then eventually scored a run. Made a terrific diving catch in game 1 to help preserve the Tigers' lead. It'll get through the catcher. Hicks will cruise into second.
And Freitas just couldn't get down and block this one. The glove got down, but then it came up ever so slightly, and that one scooted right through the 5-hole. Of the 50 pitches that Felix has thrown today, still not great with the ratio. 29 strikes, 21 balls, and 48% fastballs. The other 52% a combination of sliders, curveballs, and changeups.
Swing and a miss. Felix got him with a bender, and that'll end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Tigers baseball presented by Pastime.
Here, Michael Fulmer said when he was growing up, going through the minor leagues, one of the pitchers that he always looked toward was Felix Hernandez. So he's looking forward to facing him today. Ron Gardner took it one step further. He said, I've seen plenty of King Felix over the years. I've seen what he can do. He says he's got great stuff. He's also a great competitor. He said Michael Fulmer has that same competitive fire. And right now, well, right there's another hit there, but Fulmer's still outdoing them right now. He's ahead on the scoreboard, as limited to this tough Seattle lineup to just 3 hits so far, guys.
Yeah, and 2 of them by Nelson Cruz, but this clearly is one of those matchups where even though Felix is not the guy he was several years ago, still can get it done.
Well, if you're Michael Fulmer and you know that Felix is the opposing pitcher when you're out there on any given night, you know you better bring your A game, because Felix might give up some hits, but he's going to battle you. He's going to fight out there, as he's done here so far through the first 3 frames he's pitched.
Corey Seager stands in. Rain starting to fall now at the ballpark. Simo was to the camera well, but he had to scurry and run for cover.
Suit was too nice.
And no umbrella down there for C. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. 1-1 on Kyle Seager. Struck out in the first inning. Get those ponchos on. Now the 1-1. Back up the middle, and diving stop by Machado, and they get 1 at second. What a play by Dixon, and a backhanded shovel to Cosma for the out. Great play.
Yeah, Kyle Seager wondering what he has to do to get a knock here today. Dixon, Machado, a couple of steps and a dive. And then he was able to get that ball out of his glove and shuffle it to Cosma to get the force out. Ball not hit necessarily hard enough for 2, especially after Dixon leaves his feet. So Dixon really starting to acquit himself really nicely at that second base position, and Michael likes it.
Here is Ryan Healy.
You know, Michael was talking about how tough this Seattle Mariners lineup is and can be. Says you really have to make your pitches against this lineup 1 through 6. And they've got D. Gordon at the top that's got speed. Segura not in there, but he can really hit. And then you start getting into Healy's and Cruz's and Cano's.
Well, the bottom 3 in their lineup really has hit for a lot of power, and that's just, you know, one element of their lineup that makes it so impressive. It's really 1 through 9. Their bottom 3 spots, second most homers in the majors.
I was talking to Manny Acta this morning down in the clubhouse, his clubhouse, and he was talking about his lineup kind of reminds him of some of the old school lineups back in the day. I mean, those lineups that had that legitimate leadoff hitter, and like D. Gordon, and you had number 2 hitter like Segura, who's a professional hitter. Then your number 3 hitter is the guy that can really handle the bat. And then before you get to all the damage in the middle of the order, you know, some of those teams like St. Louis and Atlanta back in the days. Ricky Henderson, also tremendous leadoff hitter. Vince Coleman.
Driven deep, way back to left field, and that ball is gone. It's a home run for Ryan Healy.
Healy's got sick power, man. And he really does have some sick power.
A no-doubter for the Mariners first baseman.
Yeah, last time Healy struck out, but he really didn't strike out. He fouled off a pitch and was called out. And that time, a little revenge for Healy. I don't know if Healy was up there sitting on that slider or not, but once he got halfway down the line, he pointed into his dugout. And he was pointing at his teammates, almost to tell his teammates, I told you I was going to get that pitch.
And it was not a good one by Fulmer. Hung it.
Now take a look at him about right now. He's going to start pointing to the dugout. I told you I was going to get that pitch.
He got it all right. 3-2, Seattle in the lead. Ben Gamel, a strikeout victim, is 0 for 1. Strike called on Gamble, got him looking. 4 strikeouts for Fulmer. David Freitas. So King Felix will take the mound with the lead. Freitas over 1 with the ground ball. Each ball club now with 4 hits. That ball lifted in the air to deep center field. It's playable for Jones, and that'll end the inning. However, Ryan Healy says, I'm going to get me a slider. And he got one. And it's 3-2 Seattle. Face the Seattle Mariners Mother's Day and Pink Out the Park. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Pink Out the Park hat courtesy of Kroger. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com and help us pink out the park tomorrow.
It's always a wonderful day here.
Always a great day.
Mother's Day.
Honoring Mom. Cosmo leads it off and looks at a strike, 0-1. Cosmo, then Machado, and then Matuk. 3-2 now on the Healy home runs. Seattle with the lead. It'll bounce in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
We're scheduled to be joined by Mary Jones tomorrow afternoon. Jacoby Jones' mom's going to sit up here for a few innings and tell us about her son.
That'll be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a first for us, isn't it?
Learn more about Jacoby. It is. There's a strike called.
Well, I know Mary's going to have a lot of nice things to say about Jacoby.
Well, I hope so. 1-2. Cosmo takes low and away. Cosmo homered in his first Tigers at bat in that game against Texas. And the Rangers eventually won that game.
You got to be careful on balls inside the Cosmo. He likes to open up that hit prematurely, and he will turn on something if you try to get inside on him.
Got him, strike 3. Hernandez knew it. and that is 5 strikeouts.
Felix starting to feel it now with all these off-speed pitches.
Hey, by the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, you know the drill. Bring a copy of the box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. We had 1 home run in game 1. That was a 2-run shot by Iglesias. It'll tap or foul behind the dish.
And watching Felix go about his business tonight, he's thrown 57 pitches and very few have been inside. I know he hit Nicholas Castellanos, but that was a changeup. Pretty much everything that he has thrown, for the most part, has been away, and a lot of breaking balls.
If you tuned in late, Nick had to leave the game, hit by a pitch in the hand, a bruised finger, and that was the latest word we had on Nicholas. So he is done for the rest of the night. Dixon singled in a run and has made a great defensive play in this game. It'll bend low, and it's now 1-2 on Machado.
And Tigers without 3 of their top 4 hitters. Martin and Miggy on the disabled list, and Castellanos out of this one after starting this game.
Really doesn't seem to matter with this club. That's something Ron Gardenhire has said over and over. This team will battle.
Yeah, next man up.
Here's the 1-2. I mean, they had probably their most inexperienced lineup ever, or at least since the early 2000s, in that last game against the Rangers, and it took an extra inning home run to beat them.
Right. They did battle in that contest.
Here's the 1-2. Mikey Matuk waiting on deck. He went around. Strike 3 called by home plate umpire Carlos Torres. 6 strikeouts now for King Felix.
Yeah, another breaking ball. Dixon just couldn't hold up on it.
Although he did a pretty good job. That was close. Here is Matuk now. Mikey walking a pop-up. He'll spin one up there for a strike. Felix now is 1 strikeout shy of his season high of 7, which he's done twice. And he has punched out a lot of people over the years. Soft line drive to left field, sinking, base hit. Matuk with a 2-out single. On base for the 2nd time. Want to play with a pro? Well, now's your chance to play with an LPGA player at the Volvic LPGA Championship Wednesday, May 23rd in Ann Arbor. For more details and to enter for your chance to win, you go to foxsportsdetroit.com. How's your golf game, Ryan?
You know, I haven't played this year yet, but if I do go out there and play, I'll probably shoot somewhere in the high 80s, low 90s. I'll have a few pars. I might even birdie 1 or 2, but I'm going to have some bogeys to go along with those. That's what keeps me going out there, man. If I hit a par or birdie, man, it just keeps hope alive.
Yeah, it does.
It keeps hope alive. You know what I mean? I might have a snowman on the next hole, but it's okay.
That's the bad thing about golf, man. You make one great shot and you believe, I'm back.
You know what? That's the funniest thing about golf is you could hit one, Mario, stand over the ball, hit one right down the middle, hit about 280 yards right down the middle.
Yep.
And then the very next hole, you go stand over the ball and you cannot remember what you just did.
Shank.
That's the tough part of golf.
Well, that's why I don't partake. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
These breaking balls is giving these Tigers fits. Last time he struck Jamer out with a fastball, he froze him. You know, Jamer might have been sitting on something soft, or at least in the back of his mind looking for something soft, and Felix threw an 89-mile-per-hour fastball that Jamer couldn't get his bat off his shoulder on.
Here's the 0-2. Runner goes. Good jump. Freitas' throw is going to be late. Stolen base for Matuk.
That's one of those plays right there that Ron Gardenhire allowed Mikey Matuk to steal the base. And what Ron Gardenhire is doing here is, even if Mikey gets thrown out, he's not the end of the day, because that gets Jamer back up at the dish next half inning with a fresh count. Sometimes that's what managers are thinking in those particular situations, and the fact that Felix might have forgotten about Matuk while he was on first base. Mikey had a great jump.
Chance to drive in a run now for Candelario in a 3-2 ball game. The 1-2. Missed inside, 2-2 on Jamer.
Try to do the exact same thing to Jamer that he did to him last time. Now, Felix is the kind of pitcher that's savvy enough, too, to double up with his fastball inside. I don't know if he'll do it here, but he has been known to double up with the heater inside.
Didn't go. 3-2.
Well, a lot of check swings today. This ball must be very difficult for the Tigers hitters to pick up, or Felix has got an outstanding breaking ball, one of the two, because a lot of check swings already today, which is an indication of the pitcher having some really good stuff.
He got Machado on a check swing, strike 3.
This count right here, Felix, when he was younger, you knew you were going to get a fastball. You don't know these days.
Fly ball, right field. Here is Haniger. He's under it to retire the side. Earlier today, Johnny Kane had a chance to meet up with his good buddy Romine. We'll talk about that next.
Plate, of course, Romine, you know, spent a couple of years here being the Mr. Utility guy for the Tigers, and he said, you know, it feels weird being in the visitors clubhouse. Certainly said also feels weird is the fact we drive around the city of Detroit, you see these neighborhoods, you see some of the places we visit, some of the hospitals, visiting the kids there. He said the biggest thing for me is missing this city. Baseball's baseball, you're going to go to the stadium and do your job, but the impact that this city had on my wife and my family is huge. He said that's something that stayed with him. Of course, Romy traded this offseason to Seattle, but he's happy to be back out that way. Of course, growing up in Mission Viejo, California, he's a kind of a West Coast guy, and he's embracing the opportunity that he has. But he said it does feel a little weird, you know, being back for the first time in a different unit, guess.
Speaking of embracing, did you guys embrace?
Oh, jeez, come on, who told you to ask that?
I mean, nobody. You said embraced, and we've got proof.
Oh, you have proof.
Oh, the interview ends. There it is.
Oh, I can't see it.
I can't see. You don't have a
it.
monitor. We just showed you embracing.
Oh, is that the embrace?
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah.
Oh my, it is a good embrace.
It is.
No, he's a good man, good human being, and of course we wish him all the best in Seattle.
All right, man. Thanks, Johnny.
You bet.
It's commonly referred to around as a bromance, wouldn't you think?
And that's exactly what they refer to it as.
3 balls, 1 strike on Romine. Foul back 3-2. Gordon will follow, and then Haniger. Well, Andrew certainly is a likable guy. He did some good work here, and of course, one of the things he's remembered for is playing every position. And the Tigers' final game of the year last year, that was in Minnesota.
Romine was the 25th man on the roster while he was here, pretty much. But Brad Ausmus would tell him the very first day of spring training, "You're on my team," and which is unusual because usually it's the 25-man roster is fighting for a job all the way to the end of spring training. But Romine walked around very comfortable because he knew he was always on the team.
No doubt.
Everybody walking around stressing, you know what I mean, getting close to cutting time, and Romine just walking around chilling with his 8 gloves.
Well, it's good. It's good to be versatile, isn't it? It provides a sense of security.
And it's also good to be liked, and he was well liked by Brad Ausmus.
And Romine has another walk out of the 9 spot. Leadoff man on. Tigers fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit, and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go, made available by T-Mobile. Second walk of the ball game now for the right-hander, and both have come to the number 9 hitter, Romine.
Looked like Ron Gardenhire and Chris Bosio discussing some later pitching options as Michael Fulmer gets close to 90 pitches here in this inning.
That'll get away from McCann, move the runner up. Romine taking the turn. Thought about it. McCann says, "Try me." Put Romine in scoring position now. Pass ball has been ruled.
I'm not sure if it was a cross up there or not.
Gordon showed bunt on that first pitch.
And sometimes by hitters scoring like that, showing bunt, they could, you know, bring the bat back in the eyes of the catcher. But that just looked awkward.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Gordon has failed to reach in 2 at-bats here. Well, he did actually, an error by the second baseman Machado in his last at-bat. Two 2-0 on D. Gordon. You know what amazes me about the game of baseball? Look at D. Gordon. You would think any major league pitcher would just simply knock the bat out of his hands. He's just a little dude, yet he gets 200 knocks a year.
Yeah.
Or close to it.
He's done it 2 times. He's had over 200 hits twice.
And Gordon now has drawn a walk, so back-to-back base on balls.
And Mike, there's going to be a visit here. It's McCann that's going to take a visit.
Warwick Soppold warming up now in the Tigers pen. Sunday, May 27th, the Tigers take on the White Sox at 1:10. Bring your little princess to the ballpark for Princess Day. Special ticket package includes a game ticket, Tigers tiara, a pregame princess parade, and meet and greet with a princess, of course. For tickets, go to tigers.com/princess. Here comes the Baez now. Chris Bosio making his way out to the mound.
He and Ron Gardenhire were discussing some options as to who they wanted to get up in the Tiger bullpen. There is some activity now going down in the Tiger bullpen as Michael Fulmer is at 91 pitches. It was that first frame that got it. How many did he throw? 31?
31, correct. Fulmer now up to 91 as Mitch Haniger will stroll in.
Haniger's single also reaching on a fielder's choice, 1 for 2. He's also scored a run. Swing and a miss. Some work to do now for Fulmer here in the 5th, down by a run.
Every time Mike Bosio seems to go out there and have a conversation with Michael Fulmer when Michael's in trouble, he seems to always aid Michael in getting out of that trouble. That first pitch was a real nice breaking ball to Haniger. Didn't overthrow it. Another outstanding breaking ball.
And if you're Haniger up here, wouldn't you be expecting a first pitch fastball? You've walked a couple of guys, the pitching coach comes out.
And that's usually what happens. That first pitch, usually after you've walked a couple and the pitching coach has made a visit, is a fastball. But we know Bosio, he's a huge proponent of off-speed pitches.
Swing and a miss, and he carves up Haniger on 3 pitches.
3 straight sliders. And a nice job of getting in front of that ball and shuffling it right in front of you by James McCann.
Time now for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. Robinson Cano is second only to Jeff Kent among second basemen in Major League history in homers.
And Rogers Hornsby, 301. And Craig Biggio and Ryan Sandberg round out that list. I was looking at some of Robinson Cano's numbers, and I was kind of comparing them to Robbie Alomar and also Craig Biggio, the last 2 second basemen to get into the Hall of Fame. His numbers are very favorable with those 2 gentlemen, so I don't think
already.
I don't think there's any question that he gets in.
Had a good rip there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cano with over 2,200 Major League hits. Fulmer trying to pitch out of trouble here in the 5th. Low and away, 2-1. Two and one on Cano.
Yeah, Michael's got to make a pitch here.
Driven deep to right field, way back, and that ball is gone. A home run for Cano.
That is now 305 career home runs for the very talented second baseman Robinson Cano.
The 2 walks come around to score ahead of the Cano homer, and there was little doubt about that one. 6-2 Seattle, and that's going to be it for Michael Fulmer. So the Tigers go to the bullpen. Ron Gardenhire will get Fulmer, and Cano has opened up a 4-run lead for Seattle.
Threw 4 pitches to Robinson Cano, changeup down, fastball up, changeup down, and then he threw another changeup that leaked inside, and Robinson Cano turned on it. It was 87 miles an hour. McCann wanted that ball down and away. At least that appeared that he wanted it down and away, and that one leaked back over the heart of the dish, and Robinson Cano hit it out for a 3-run shot.
Meanwhile, Fulmer was barking at Carlos Torres.
Yeah, they had a nice little conversation.
There's a bouncer up the middle. Cosma spinning play, throws and gets him.
He stole one from Nelly Cruz. Cosma playing a pretty nice game of shortstop here tonight. A couple of steps to his left with Nelson Cruz running. He turns, does a pirouette, and then throws accurately over to John Hicks to get the out.
Wall side windows pitching change. Warwick Soppold in for his 12th appearance. Pitching to a 3.00 ERA out of the Tigers bullpen. Here's Kyle Seager now with 2 outs. And Seager looks at a strike, 0-1. Shifting on Seager.
Yeah, he's a dead pull hitter. And very few of his hits go the opposite way.
Oh, 2.
Did you happen to catch that shift that the Houston Astros was playing
on Gallo?
On Gallo, Joey Gallo, the Texas Rangers yesterday.
I did.
Didn't they have everybody in right field, the whole team except for one person?
Except for one guy in left field.
Man,
everybody was in right field,
and he hit right into it.
Right into it. He doesn't care. Yeah, I was talking to one of the Texas writers when we were there, and they were talking about how Bregman went and played the outfield. So they had 4 outfielders in a particular at bat against Gallo, and all shifted. It was bizarre.
Well, those shifts will work sometimes, but if you can't put nobody in them right field seats, they're not going to work all the time for Joey Gallo.
Last year, 40 times those shifts didn't work because he put them in the seats 40 times. 1-2. Low ball 2. So Fulmer will be charged with 6 runs in this game here tonight. He's given up a couple of homers, Cano and Healy. Here's a 2-2, and it's lifted back out of play. Each ball club now with 5 hits in this game. And Carpenter, who is the 26th man for the doubleheader, is now tuning up.
And Carpenter made 1 start this year.
He did. Carpenter he thought was going to make this rotation in spring training until the Tigers signed Liriano. Or he was one of the front runners at least. They'll sail low and away. 3-2 now on Seager. Healy waiting on deck. Line to right field, that'll get down. It'll go to the corner. Reyes digs it up, and it's going to be a double with 2 outs for Seager.
It's a nice piece of hitting here by Seager. It's a 3-2 count. He goes to the bottom of the strike zone and golfs one down in that right field corner for a sliding double.
Look, he jammed his hand too, and he was sliding into the bag. So here is Healy now. It'll be the 6th hit of the game for Seattle. Ground ball back up the middle. Machado is right there, and Healy is out. Inning is over. 3-run homer by Cano lengthens the lead. Big night for a Tigers minor leaguer. We'll explain next. In Lakeland tonight against the St. Lucie Mets, Austin Sodders had a no-hitter into the 8th inning, 7 1/3 hitless tonight.
He pitched well. Did walk 4, but had 4 strikeouts in that game. Sodders was a 7th-round pick in 2016. He went to UC Riverside. Had a 1.81 ERA in 23 starts last season, so he's on the fast track.
Look at you, man, with all those stats.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, you know, we've got to plan and prepare when we get these things, these minor leaguers, you know.
Yeah. Good job, Austin Drake.
Why you want to throw me on? Why do you want to throw me under the bus?
I see you reading over there. I just had Austin written all over.
I can't pull nothing on you, man. Next time I'm gonna hide when I do it.
Reyes, the batter here in the 5th inning. Reyes, Martinez, McCann.
Tigers have got some work to do.
Tigers now down 6-2. For those of you wondering who Austin Drake is, he is our guy in the truck that, well, most of the statistical analysis that we have is done by Austin. He's our file coordinator down there, and he does a tremendous job.
That he does.
Of lining the broadcast with important stats and info, biographical information. 7 strikeouts, by the way, now for King Felix, which equals his season high. Victor, a strikeout, a fly ball. They're playing to pull on Martinez to the right side of the infield like they normally do. Did he hold up? Yep. Did not go, says Ortiz down at third base.
Victor has had a lot of success in his career against Felix. He comes in with a .333 batting average, 9 for 27. That's pretty good for a guy that's been as good as Felix has been in his career. Because you know a lot of them bats when Felix was just a baby boy, when he was throwing 96 to 98 with the wipeout slider and the changeup and the mound presence and everything else that went along with him getting that nickname King Felix.
6-time All-Star, and he also won a Cy Young in 2012. It'll chopper to the right side, straight into the shift. Cano throws him out, and there are 2 gone.
He also got robbed of a Cy Young, too. He should have won another one. They gave it to, well, not that he didn't really earn it, But Corey Kluber had a real good last month.
Yeah.
And Felix had a bad last month of the season, and I think Corey Kluber came in and snatched it from him. He only won it by a couple of points.
But I will say this, the one that Felix did win, he was 13-12 that year, remember?
That's when analytics was just starting to come into play, though, you know?
And the secondary numbers really stood out for Felix that year. He was 13-12, but had a 2.77 ERA. 2 outs, nobody on for McCann. And Mack looks at a strike, 0-1. He has put the ball in the air twice, lining out to left field in his last at bat.
And Felix, for the most part, has kept the Tigers off balance the same way that Matthew Boyd kept Seattle off balance in the first game of the doubleheader today. Matthew had a real good breaking ball, got lots of swings and misses, lots of soft contact.
Oh, 2 on McCann.
That voting a couple of years ago when Kluber won his first Cy Young, Felix had 159 and Kluber had 169, so it was a 10-point spread.
That was the 2014 campaign.
Yep. And Kluber hasn't looked back since then. He's been so dominant.
Yep. Felix, by the way, aside from winning one, has had 2 or 4 top 5 finishes, including that one that you just talked about.
Speaking of Corey Kluber, we'll see those guys here in a couple days.
They're not playing well. They won today, but they're not playing well. What's going on? Somebody's been tossed now as Carlos Torres has had enough, and it looks like
Gardy's been tossed.
Well, we told you that Fulmer, when he walked off the mound last half inning, was jawboning with Torres. I don't know if the Tigers have continued to pick up the argument. And Gardy letting him have it now. Torres didn't immediately throw him out. He let him go a little bit, and then he finally gave him the heave-ho. So Gardy has had his say. And apparently he'll head back to the clubhouse now. I assume it was Gardy that was tossed. So Fulmer a couple of times actually had an exchange with Torres. Steve Little's going to take over now. Here's the first one. And then as he was taken out of the game, this is after he was pulled here, right here.
And this is a little bit more heated exchange here. Michael actually stopped this time, and
that's pulled to left field. It's going to be extra bases going to the wall. McCann is on his way to second, and he's got himself a 2-out double. Tigers have their 6th hit.
And it's a nice job by James going to the bottom of the strike zone. That real slow curveball at 79 miles an hour. He's out in front and full, but the bat stayed back long enough for him to get enough of it and to hit it down into that left field corner.
That is a 10-game hitting streak now for Mack as Hicks waves and misses 0-1. Single fly ball for John Hicks. Tigers trying to chip away now with 2 outs here in the 5th. Plenty of ball game left. They're down 6-2. Good pickup there by Freitas. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hernandez at 83 pitches right now. Tigers got him for a 2-spot back in the 2nd. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball left field and hit well. Gamble going back to the wall. He looks up and it's gone. John Hicks with a 2-run shot, and the Tigers draw it closer. A 2-out double by McCann, and Hicks goes deep.
Yeah, just a matter of time before Felix hung one of those breaking balls, and that one stayed up in the strike zone long enough for John Hicks to reach out and catch it, hit it into the Seattle Mariners bullpen. Hicks is very aggressive on fastballs and breaking balls, especially early in counts.
Here is Jacoby Jones. That ball went 404 feet off the bat of Hicks. Fourth home run of the year for the Tigers catcher slash first baseman. And Jones looks at a strike 0-2. He has done a whale of a job filling in for Cabrera. Now Hernandez ready with the 0-2. And he hit him. Got away from Felix, and so the Tigers will take it.
That's the second time that Felix has hit a Tigers batter here tonight with a changeup. He got Nicholas Castellanos earlier in the game.
It's going to bring Mel Stottlemyre out of the dugout now for the Mariners, and a mound visit here with Felix Hernandez. Will bring the Tiger end to the plate. There's Steve Little now, the Tigers bench coach, who has taken over for Ron Gardenhire. Gardy has been ejected from this game.
Steve Little came out of retirement to join his good buddy Ron Gardenhire in his newest job here in Detroit. Spent every year in Minnesota with Ron, knows him very well.
Well, here is Cosma, who has a double and an RBI tonight, 1 for 2. Tigers back to within 2, 6-4. Jacoby on base for the second time in this game. Flared out a play 0-1 on Cosma. Tigers signed him to strengthen their system, and here he is now at the big league level. Veteran who's had big league time with the St. Louis Cardinals, New York and Texas last year. In there, a strike called 0-2. So Hernandez now about to throw his 90th pitch. There is activity in the bullpen. Bradford, the right-hander.
You got Cosmo Machado.
The 0-2. Way outside, and a good snag there by Freitas.
And Cosma probably had the option, partner, of going to the minor leagues with the Tigers or taking his free agency and going somewhere else during spring training, but he thought better of it and went to the minor leagues because there were still so many free agents out there that didn't have jobs this spring.
Good point.
So a lot of guys that got sent down that would have taken their releases, they said, no, I'll go to AAA for a while.
Little chop foul. Well, he's back up at the major league level now. 7 years in the big leagues. Cardinals 2011 to 2015. Fouled away. Two-run shot here by John Hicks after the two-out double by McCann has given the Tigers some spark here. They're down 6-4. Machado waiting on deck. And again the 1-2. Another foul. Cosma giving them a battle.
And Tigers need to do their best to try to win this game tonight, knowing the pitcher that they'll be looking at tomorrow. James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners, who threw a no-hitter in his last outing.
Runner goes, and a line right base hit to right field. Jacoby is on his way to third. They're going to hold him there. He's taking a wide turn. Here he comes. Throw to the plate, and he's in there. Jacoby Jones steals a run.
Did he just do what I thought he did?
He ran right through Dave Clark and scored.
My goodness, Jacoby.
Wow.
He's had a great day.
Wow.
He's an exciting player.
He scored from first on a hit-and-run single. Great slide as well.
Beautiful slide.
Just beat the tag. Well, you run through that sign, you better make it.
And I love the way that he had his foot down on the ground to make sure that his foot got on the plate. A lot of times you see guys sliding their foots in the air, they get tagged out.
Yep.
They don't get that a safe call.
Here's a high drive to center field. On the move is Gordon. He's going to get there, and that will end the inning. But the Tigers are right back in this game. John Hicks, the big blow in the inning, a two-run shot, highlighting a three-run inning. Sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service. Everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. That's a brand new ball game now. Tigers, thanks to some aggressive base running by Jacoby Jones, another clutch hit from Pete Cosma, have now brought their team within one. Hicks with a home run as well, and the Tigers going back to the bullpen here as we go to the sixth inning.
And Ryan Carpenter made 7 starts down in Toledo for the Mud Hens, a 1-3 record, a 5.01 earned run errors, but he had 42 strikeouts, which was tied for the international lead. Made his major league debut right here in this ballpark on April 1st. Second game of a doubleheader against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ben Gamble leads it off, and he will take strike one as we get things rolling here in the 6th. Tigers won game 1 in the doubleheader 4-3, down by a run here in game 2. Gamble looks at a ball outside, 1-1. Buck Farmer now heating up in the Detroit bullpen.
And Buck also pitched in game 1.
In there, a strike called, 1-2. Gamble 2 strikeouts, those at bats against Michael Fulmer. Slice toward the shortstop, caught by Cosma.
It was almost like Cosma was moving over to make that play before that ball even got in the hitting zone.
Let's bring in Johnny Kane.
Yeah, guys, well, Tigers made a couple of moves before today's doubleheader. You talked about Ryan Carpenter being recalled from AAA. He is the 26th man for this late game. Also, Lewis Coleman, he was recalled from AAA Toledo, the right-hander. They also optioned Johnny Barbado down to AAA Toledo. Chad Bell, the lefty, designated for assignment. So a couple of moves made in advance of today's doubleheader, guys.
And here is Carpenter in the ball game tonight, so he's getting an opportunity to play as he throws ball 1 to Freitas.
Tigers have made a lot of roster moves already this season.
The recent injuries have been reason for several of them. Freitas is 0 for 2. Ball too high. Cano and Keith Felix. Tigers put up 5 on Hernandez tonight. Big swing by Freitas, who let it all hang out on 2-0. 2-1 in the backup catcher. Swing and a miss again. Tigers leaning on the bullpen now with Fulmer out of this game to keep it where it is. They've already fought back with a 3-run 5th. Foul back.
I think Tigers relievers understand how important it is to keep the score right where it's at because of the will and the grit that the Tigers offense always plays with in games, even games they're trailing. And they always seem to at least have that winning run coming to the plate late in the game.
Popped up. Will it stay in play? It will not. Back in the dugout. Carpenter until this year had never pitched in the big leagues, reaching AAA with the Rockies each of the last 2 years. He also had time in the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Out of Glendale, Arizona, 27 years old, and like tonight's game 1 starter for the Mariners, Gonzalez, he also pitched at Gonzaga.
Oh.
Ball 3 high, 3-2 on David Freitas. Andrew Romine, the number 9 hitter, waiting on deck. Fouled away. So the next one will be the 9th pitch from the lefty Carpenter. Freitas ground ball and a fly out, so he's 0 for 2. And he walked in, ball 4. 1 out walk. Fans, join us tomorrow's special Tigers-Mariners matchup. We pay tribute to the extraordinary mothers everywhere during our annual Mother's Day Pick Out the Park broadcast. All of our coverage begins with Tigers Live at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And everybody in the ballpark will be wearing pink tomorrow, and I'm sure our good friend Craig Monroe will as well. Simon, what do you got planned for tomorrow?
don't have no pink in his closet.
Well, guys, listen. You know I enjoy little crazy colors.
Yeah.
I like to get outside the box a little bit with my wardrobe. So I've got something special for Gibby. You know, Gibby called me out
He did.
on the show maybe a week ago. Was it, Mario?
It was.
And he challenged me to wear a pink suit.
Uh-oh.
So I've got something in store for him tomorrow.
Sounds like challenge accepted.
Oh, always. You know that.
He challenged you to wear a pink suit?
He did. He said, are you just going to? I said, well, Gibby, is this just a jacket? Or is this the whole thing? And he goes, well, no. I mean, if you're going to do it, you have to do the whole thing. I said, well, I'll see what I can do. I can't wait, Ron.
Oh, my goodness.
It's going to be crazy. I love it.
Nor can the rest of the world, Seymour.
Listen, you have to enjoy this, guys. You have to have fun. And I have
agree.
fun being here, broadcasting with you guys, talking Tiger baseball. So, yes, I am going to have some fun with my wardrobe.
You're not going to wear a pink suit tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way you're going to wear a pink
well,
suit.
You have to wait and see till I walk through that door in the morning, bro.
Tune in.
Tune in.
How's that for a tease?
How about that?
1 and 2 on Romine.
You got some pink shoes, too?
I'll give the shoes away. I'm going to put on some white Converse. That's what I got. Some Chuck Taylors. But it's not bad, Rod. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to see it.
Bring your cameras. Here's the 1-2 now to Romine. Swing and a miss. He dusted him up top. 2 gone.
First time they got Romine today. A little breaking ball that stayed up. Romine swung right through it.
Top of the order now, D. Gordon will check in. And he had that walk, which helped their scoring chance in the 5th inning. Eventually scored on the Cano home run. Swing and a miss, 0-1. You could see how Carpenter can give some lefties fits.
Yeah, good breaking ball. They've been throwing D some really good breaking balls all day long. And Matthew Boyd had him tied up with great breaking balls down and away from him. That last breaking ball there thrown by Carpenter was in a great location.
And that hit him. Another hit batter in this game, so Gordon will go to first base. He's going to keep the inning going now for Haniger as Chris Basio gets back on the phone. And now with the right-hander coming up, Steve Little has made a call to the bullpen, so Buck Farmer will be entering the fray. We've got a pitching change. We'll be back.
game of the doubleheader, but they've busted out a little bit here in the nightcap. Ryan Healy with a 2-run shot. That was in the 4th inning. And then in the very next frame, it's a 3-run shot. That was off the bat of Robinson Cano. That was a changeup. The one Healy hit was a breaking ball. The Tigers have also hit a home run here today. It was John Hicks. He connected last half inning on a breaking ball from King Felix. So all 3 homers today have come courtesy of the off-speed pitches today.
Buck Farmer has come on now in a wall-side windows pitching change.
Yeah, Buck starter by trade, but has 3 good pitches. He's got a fastball that he can sit in the mid-90s with. He's got a nice breaking ball. He also has a really good changeup. He'll throw the changeup to the righties and the lefties. He's not afraid to do that.
Haniger looks at a strike, 0-1.
There's that change piece right there to get ahead of Haniger. It used to be taboo for right-handed batters to throw the changeup to the right-handed hitters, but not so much anymore. A lot of right-handers, especially the righties with the good changeup, not afraid to use that pitch to righties. McCann wants this one down.
Chop the third, behind the bag, foul. Oh, 0-2 now on Haniger, who is 1 for 6 in this doubleheader.
If you're Buck Farmer, you can go one of 2 ways right here. You can either climb the ladder with that mid-90s fastball to see if you can get Haniger to swing through that one, or you make sure if you throw him a breaking ball, you get it off the plate. And something that he can't do any damage with.
One and two. Farmer appeared in game 1, got 3 ground ball outs. That was in the 7th inning. Here's the 1-2. Low ball 2. That went in the dirt. One out walk to Freitas, a 2-out hit batter, and Seattle threatening here in the 6th. Inside, and now the count has gone full to 3-2, which will give the runners a head start here with 2 outs. Fulmer, Soppold, Carpenter, and now Farmer for the Tigers here in game 2. Tigers won the opener 4-3. Shattered bat rolled toward third base. And Haniger is out to end the inning. No runs, walk, hit, batter. 2 men left. Top of the order coming up.
Jacoby Jones. In game 1, he had an outstanding slide just in there ahead of the tag there. And that would be by Zunino. And then in game 2, Dave Clark had both hands up. Jacoby Jones took one look at the defender. He said, I can score on this play, and comes in with an outstanding slide. Freitas late applying the tag. So Jacoby Jones has really showed out today with his legs. A double, hustling double, nice play defensively, and some good base running as well.
Well, we've got a wall side windows pitching change, and we've got the left-hander in now. It's James Pazos.
And Pazos is having an outstanding season, a 1.35 ERA. The opponent's batting average is under 200 against him. He's punched out 15, and he's walked 1. He's got 2 pitches. He's got a fastball that's in the mid-90s and a slider.
Mikey sends a ground ball short on the very first pitch. Romine's throw is high, but they got him.
Mikey Montuk's been swinging real early in counts today.
1 gone on 1 pitch here in the 6th. That'll bring out Jamer. Pazos last year made 59 appearances, all out of the bullpen with Seattle. Broke in with the Yankees. Candy batting righty against the lefty Pazos. Swing and a miss, 0-1. 95 coming from the left side there from Pazos.
Yeah, he's only got 2 pitches, the fastball and the slider. He throws that fastball 88% of the time. So Tigers hitters get ready to hit it.
0-2. Walk, strikeout, flyout. More action in the Tigers bullpen. Daniel Stump warming up. Just kind of pieced to stay alive. Seattle with a couple of lefties coming up next half inning. Cano and Seager sandwiched around Cruz, the DH. So Stump heating. 6-5, the Mariners lead.
Nothing but mid-90s heaters to Candelario.
Pazos 1.35 ERAs, 8th lowest among AL relievers. Ball high, would not chase. 1-2. Reyes waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Candy slicing one foul, staying alive.
That's the first breaking ball that Pazos threw Candelario. And the previous 7 pitches, all fastball, 6 pitches, excuse me.
This is what Jamer is so good at in this game. 20 pitches he has seen. Fights off another. Seattle bullpen ERA is 4.32, which is slightly better than their starters. Of course, they got the guy at the back end of the bullpen that throws real hard.
Yeah, he throws 100. And he's got a slider at about 92, 93.
That would be Edwin Diaz. And another foul by Candelario. He is giving Pazos fits.
And generally speaking, when you have these kinds of lengthy at-bats, and it's been a lengthy at-bat for Candelario, usually it ends up with a base hit for the hitter. And that's exactly what I'm hoping, because I've got him in pick to stick.
At least you're honest. And again, the 1-2. Hey, soft liner right to the first baseman. He gave it a shot.
Well, if you're just joining us, Nicholas Castellanos was hit earlier by a pitch. It was a changeup, but it got him in a bad spot, right on the left hand, excuse me. And the list just continues to grow of some Tigers players that are on the disabled list. Miggy on the DL, Martine on the disabled list, Daniel Norris as well, with Wilson and Jordan Zimmerman. So 5 players on the DL right now.
Victor Reyes came in to hit for, I should say run for Castellanos and stayed in the game. So he is up there for his second at bat.
And Ron Gardenhire has a really tough job trying to get Victor Reyes enough at bats to keep him fresh. Very tough when you've got very young players in the big leagues that are Rule 5 players, to try to keep them fresh, keep them sharp.
Haven't seen Reyes hit right-handed much. 0-2 the count. Reyes actually did pinch hit for Nick back in the second, struck out, and then fanned in the 5th inning.
And Victor spent the entire season last year in Double-A.
That'll get back out of play.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. 96. And top fastball, and that breaking ball, 79 miles an hour. King Felix over there just chilling now.
Taking a nap.
Looked like it.
0-2 on Reyes. Reyes had a pretty good Arizona Fall League this past offseason. Was .316 in the Fall League. Stole 12 bases, 13 tries. Tigers then selected him in the Rule 5 draft from Arizona. Now he's a guy that got it done in the minor league level, a career .298 hitter.
And Tigers weren't sure whether they were going to carry Reyes this year, offer him back to the Arizona Diamondbacks for half the price that they paid for him. But when you hold on to a Rule 5 player, and the reason why you do it is because you look at Reyes, you look at his skill set, switch hitter, power, arm, the bat will play. This guy projects to be a starter in your organization at some point in time. And that's why you hold on to him. And especially in a rebuilding year.
Sure. Well, 5 times in the minor leagues he hit over 300 in a season.
Why didn't Arizona protect him, I'm wondering?
Don't know, but when he became available and was left unprotected, the Tigers leaped.
I know Tony La Russa, who's really good friends with Jim Leland, was raving about him to Jim, and Jim obviously passed that on to us, that Tony La Russa thought that this kid has a chance to be a really good player at some point in time.
Chopped the left side of the infield. That'll be gloved there by Romine. And Reyes speeding down the line is out. 1-2-3. Robinson Cano will get it started in the 7th. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park. Game 2 in this doubleheader, where Seattle is on top 6-5 here as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us tonight. Daniel Stupp is in now for the Tigers.
And Daniel ranks 3rd in the American League in appearances this year. He's been in 20 ball games this year already, a 1-2 record, a 4.05 ERA. He's punched out 10, he's walked 6. Appeared in a career high 55 games last year to Daniel Stupp out of that Tiger bullpen.
As we pointed out last half inning, a couple of big lefties in this frame. Cano and then Seager do 3rd. You've got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up for Seattle. Ball outside, 1-1. Well, Cano put a charge into one back in the 5th, a 3-run homer. That was off Michael Fulmer, and that ended Fulmer's night. Here's the 1-1. Slice to left field, that'll get down, base hit. Cut off there by Matuk, and Cano has a leadoff single.
It really doesn't matter where the pitch is. Cano just kind of goes with it. If you try to come inside, he'll turn on it, and if you try to throw that fastball and leave it up top, look at him climb the ladder and get on top of a 94-mile-per-hour fastball and hit a seed the opposite way. Most guys love the ball down, but really it doesn't matter for Robbie. He can hit.
Cano's 3rd hit of the night, single-double homer, counting both games. Cruz looks at ball 1 high.
Before it's all said and done, Robinson Cano is going to be knocking on the door of 3,000 hits in his career.
A little over 2,200 right now for Cano. So 2-0 now on Cruz. Single to drive in a run in the 1st inning. He's 2 out of 3 in this game. Flared to right field, sinking, gonna drop, base hit. Cano is on his way to 3rd. He's in there standing up. A bloop single now has given the Mariners runners at 1st and 3rd.
The entire bench of the Seattle Mariners was chanting at Robinson Cano to go. They knew exactly when that ball was cued off the bat of Cruz, it was going to fall in. Especially how deep the outfielders play Nelson Cruz.
Third hit of the game for Cruz. And Seattle now has 8. It's Corey Seager. Double and 3 at bats. He backs out from a strike. Seager has also scored a run. He's walked, been hit by a pitch in the doubleheader. Runner breaking to second. Here comes the throw down, and the tag is not in time. A steal for Nelson Cruz.
Got to be his first steal of the year.
That'll put 2 men in scoring position.
It's too bad you don't ever want to give that base up. You always want to keep your double play in order. That's why even though a guy that doesn't run well like a Cruz, you still have to at least sometimes a little courtesy pick over there.
See, first stolen base for Cruz since April of last year.
He don't run much. He trots a lot though.
Not this year, but last year. What do we got here? Umpires convening.
Tigers want to check it?
Yep. Apparently so.
They might have got it.
So hold off on that stolen base. since April of last year. It's got to be confirmed first.
He might be out. We'll see. One more look.
It's a really quick snap tag by Kozma. Tigers challenging here in the 7th. So hard to tell. Don't know if there's enough here to overturn. Well, it's taken them a while to look at it, though, in New York. There's Kerwin Daly right there, the crew chief. And here's our decision. Safe. So the Tigers lose the challenge. Just not enough there to overturn it, and Cruz does get his stolen base.
And Tigers now going to play the infield in. 1-1 count, nobody out, top half of the 7th inning, runners on 2nd and 3rd.
Driven toward the gap in right center field. That ball is going to get down. It's going to get 2 runs in. Seager is on his way to 2nd, and he will pull in with a 2-run double.
And Daniel right now, just the last few times he's gone out there, just kind of struggling right now with his command, his control. And they got to get him straightened out. We told you that he pitched in 55 games last year and was outstanding out of that Tiger bullpen, but in his last 5 outings, he's got a very lofty ERA. That's a breaking ball at 87. That gets a little bit too much play, and Seager puts a nice swing on it. Nelson Cruz on 2nd base, able to come around and score with ease. Scott Brocious is the new 3rd base coach in Seattle these days.
8-5 lead now for Seattle as Healy stands in.
So Daniel comes in to go up against the 2 lefties, and both Cano and Seager get base hits off of him.
Here's the 1-0. And it's low, 2-0. Still nobody out in this inning. Single, single, double. And 2-0 on Healy, who homered in the 4th. Way inside, going to go to the backstop, advance the runner. Seager moves up. Wild pitch. Infield coming in now for the Tigers. Here's the 3-0. Taking 3-1 on Healy. Ron Gardenhire has been ejected from the ball game as bench coach Steve Little has taken over here. Tigers had some issues with the strike zone of Carlos Torres tonight. Big swing there, 3-2 now on Healy. Stump has another lefty and Gamble waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2. That is a fair ball down the 3rd base line. That'll get another run in. It'll be extra bases for Healy. He is on his way to 2nd. That'll be a double and 4 straight hits now for Seattle.
Yeah, it was a fastball that he tried to get inside on Healy, and he actually did get inside, but Healy is so big and strong and physical, still able to muscle that ball down the third baseline for a double and an RBI. And right now, Daniel just going through it right now, but that's part of the game. He'll figure it out.
Here is Ben Gamel. That'll dive in for a strike.
Pretty good breaking ball right there. He started that one right at Gamel. Gamel's knees buckled, and that ball landed in McCann's glove nicely for a strike.
Talk about Daniel being so good in the month of April. His ERA was 1.59 in 14 April appearances.
Yeah.
But here the month of May has been much different. He's just going through one of those stretches at this point. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip into the glove for strike 3. First out of the inning. That'll bring out David Freitas. And that's going to bring Steve Little out. Right-handed batter coming up. Tigers have action in their bullpen. Daniel Stump facing 5 batters. And now they are going to force Steve Little to make the decision. And the Tigers will go to the bullpen. So Stump is done for the evening and will be back.
His contract purchase from AAA Toledo, where he was actually serving as the closer for a bit there, has 8 saves on the season. Thing about Coleman that Ron Gardner really likes is the fact that he comes at it with a little bit different arm slot. Not a heavy thrower, which Rod Allen can comment on. You know, he's going to top out in the low 90s, tough around righties, but he can sink it away on lefties. And what Gardy had said is, you know, sometimes you get this, a lot of the similar looking guys coming out of the bullpen, they throw from the same arm slot and about the same speed. So we're hoping that he can come in and give him a little bit different look.
Well, Coleman now will come in and face David Freitas with a runner at second. The 8 saves Johnny spoke of were second in the International League. And Freitas stands in and looks at one sailing outside, 1-0.
Coleman was a mainstay in the Kansas City Royals bullpen from 2011 until 2015. So he was parts of some pretty good bullpens there in Cleveland, especially in 2015.
Last year splitting time between Louisville and Reno in AAA ball. That'll dive in for a strike. 1-1 on Freitas.
And you wonder why more right-handers don't adopt this sidearm angle that Coleman has adopted. A lot of times the right-handers don't necessarily throw 95 or 96, and they're very hittable. So why not drop down to a sidearm angle and create a little bit more deception for yourself, throwing across your body?
Orioles had a guy for the last couple of years, or have a guy that's been really good, and Darren O'Day.
O'Day.
And
then they got another guy too, Givens, who throws about 98 from sundown under.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, we were talking about him when we were there last time. I don't think I've ever seen anybody throw from that sidearm slot and can throw 96 miles an hour like Givens can.
That'll curl low, and the count goes 3-1 now on Freitas.
When you go up against a guy like Coleman, man, you really have to fight to keep that front shoulder in there because of that angle that he throws from. It's a challenge.
Up top, ball 4. He's walked Freitas to put 2 men on. Still only 1 out of the inning, and here is the number 9 man, Romine. He's been on base twice. He has walked twice, scored a run.
And you saw Ramon Santiago directing some traffic and telling the infielders where they want to play Romine. Coleman looking for the ground ball.
Ten hits now for Seattle, 8 for the Tigers. Seattle 9-5 lead.
Were you able to get to Andrew Romine to sign your scorebook?
I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, from the
the 9 inning, the 9
every
position. Yeah,
yep. That'll be one of my chores tomorrow.
I'm sure he'll do that.
Oh,
no problem.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Romine played all 9, final game of the season last year. Here's the 1-1. Slice toward left field, foul.
I felt sorry for Romine last year when the Tigers had that fight with the New York Yankees and his brother was involved in
Austin?
it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, you play for one team and then your brother's down there at the bottom of the pile, you know? That was the uncomfortable day, I know, for Andrew Romine.
Might as well try catching some raindrops here.
Must be thirsty.
Yep.
Or bored.
Or bored, yeah, one of the two. 1-2 on Romine. Two and two. Tigers pretty much replaced Romine with Nico Goodrum this year. Nico is the guy that plays all around the infield and outfield. Ooh, he fought that one off. Emergency hack. $124 games last year with the Tigers, so Romine played quite a bit. Hit .233. And McCann able to block that. Did it hit him? Well, Romine will go down to first base.
This has been an ugly inning.
By the way, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for more details. Well, Coleman now has them full here with 1 out. Top of the order coming up, D. Gordon. Already a 3-run inning for Seattle. And he'll spray that one foul out of play. Gordon on base 3 times in this game, reaching on an error, a walk, and a hit by pitch.
And Gordon has a younger brother who plays in the Minnesota Twins organization. He's a shortstop. As a matter of fact, D was a shortstop when he was drafted. And then he had to move over to second base because a kid by the name of Corey Seager showed up in Los Angeles. In the last few years, he has spent playing for the Miami Marlins down in Miami at second base.
Now the 0-2. Slapped to left field on a line and caught by Matuk. Runner tagging, coming home. Here's a throw, and he is out. And right away, Healy says, check that. So it looks like they probably will. I think Healy thought he got his slide in before the tag.
That's a very shallow fly ball. Nice job by Mikey Matuk getting that ball, getting behind it. Nice footwork and firing a strike to James McCann.
Ball beat him there, but it looks like you're going to look at it. See if the slide got in ahead of the tag.
Looks like he's out.
Yep. I would doubt they would overturn this.
That's a nice strong throw by Mikey Matuk, especially when he caught that ball. His momentum was carrying him back. And for him to get his feet underneath him and then fire a strike like that is a really nice play. I know Healy's not the fleetest of foot, but it's still a nice play by Mikey.
Well, it was a shallow line drive. He's surprised they sent him.
Well, they got a lead, so they're just gambling there. And I'm not so sure that Brocious even told him to run. Brocious is the third base coach. Healy might have just done it on his own because he saw Mikey Matuk was backing up when he caught that ball. He didn't think he'd have enough on his throw to throw him out.
Out was the call at home plate. And here's the decision. He's out. That'll end the inning. So the Tigers get a big double play and keep this manageable here. Coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Stretch in game 2 of the doubleheader between the Mariners and the Tigers. It's one of those nights you want to bundle up like that, or maybe just cover your face so you don't have to see tonight's Ram pick the stick results. I feel like that kid tonight. I really don't want to do this.
You don't? Well,
No.
I feel like I want to,
You
and
do?
I also feel like Johnny Kane wants to.
Hey, where you at there, Mickey?
What?
You know.
Hey, Mickey, where are you, bud? How's that pick the stick?
I don't know.
By the way, I'm standing in the rain, just
yeah.
like before, and you said I wouldn't do that. You also said
look at
I didn't
you.
know how to pick the stick. I could go on.
Look at you. Go ahead. Take it away,
I
Johnny.
can go
Just
on.
bask in the glory.
I don't have a monitor, but I've been told that I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
to
are.
my boy John Hicks.
You are. You got
Not
yourself
bad
a
today.
snowman going. I'm not doing so hot.
What are you?
Yeah, that's a -1.
You love that, don't you, JK?
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
love it.
I hope we find a way to
love
keep
it.
you out there in the rain then the rest of the ball game. Enjoy
Hey,
it.
man, I'll do it. Anything for the win.
Yep.
Hey, Mick, my guy got hurt in the first inning, and I still have more points than you.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you know what? I got to wear it tonight, guys.
Well, I've been wearing it for a couple of weeks now, Mick, so you ain't by yourself, partner.
Here's Victor Martinez now facing a new pitcher. Nick Vincent is in. Strike 1 to Victor. Tigers down 9-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Martinez, then McCann, and then Hicks. That'll sail outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rain falling here at the ballpark. Tigers playing game 2 of this doubleheader. Won the opener 4-3. Here's the 1-1. DeMart sends a ground ball straight to the second baseman, Cano, snatching it. And 1 gone. How about our big story? Did you see Matt Harvey's debut with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday?
I did see some of that. I think he threw about 55 pitches, and he pitched well in his first outing for his new team. I think him getting to Cincinnati and getting out of New York might do well for him.
Fastball mid-90s. 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs. I think you're right about that. New destination, new start.
Yeah, Cincinnati's just a little bit slower than New York.
Just a tad. Here's McCann.
Especially if you like them streets.
1 ball, no strikes on McCann. Double in 3 at-bats. Are you saying the streets of New York are enticing, tempting?
Well, I think the Dark Knight used to like them streets. I think he used to like them streets.
Here's the 1-0. It's high again. 2-0 now the count on James.
She's hanging in there.
Yeah, sure is.
She got her pink going tonight. She ready.
Spins one in there for a strike, 2-1. McCann got it started with 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th with a double, and then scored in the home run by Hicks. The Tigers were down 6-2. They got to within 6-5. In there, a strike call, 2-2 on James, who takes issue with that last call.
And Vincent has a fastball that will top out at about 91 miles an hour. He's got a cutter that he throws pretty much all the time, so it's pretty much all fastballs thrown by him, either a four-seamer or a cutter.
Swing and a miss.
That's a four-seamer.
Mack is out of there, 2 gone. That'll bring up Hicks.
Johnny Cane's man today, John Hicks, with a big home run his last time up. It was a breaking ball against Felix Hernandez, and he hit it into the Seattle Mariner bullpen.
Unless he hits it out.
Second hit in this game. 4th home run of the year for Hicks. Wave and a miss, 0-1. Seattle bullpen now is retired 6th in a row. A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive, another base hit for Hicks. 2-out single, and that is another knock. His 3rd of this game.
Little cutter. And that was down and away from Johnny. Went down to get it. Nice little easy stroke. Served it in the center field.
That'll bring up Jacoby. Jones on base twice, single hit by pitch, 2 runs scored.
Jacoby's had a nice day. Made a really nice play in center field in that first game in the 9th inning. A hustling double, a couple of great slides in the home plate, an infield single. Getting it done today, using them legs.
A major weapon of his. In there, a strike called. He has made some strides, Rod, against the breaking ball, which had been an issue last year. But how do you continue to make strides and keep working at that?
Well, you just have to continue to trust yourself, and you have to continue to just make adjustments and lay off the breaking balls that are down and away. Hopefully you get some hanging breaking balls. He's going to get a ton of breaking balls. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Vincent strikes him out to end the inning. Tigers baseball presented tonight by Bell Tire. Four for 4 with 2 homers, 2 doubles. That is his 4th career multi-homer game. Look what Charlie Morton did.
Charlie Morton is money, man. 14 strikeouts, did not walk 1 batter. I mean, I was talking to Manny Acta down in their clubhouse today. He said Charlie Morton is the one guy that his Seattle Mariners team say, we don't want to see that guy. It's
really?
Not Verlander, it's not McCullers, it's Charlie Morton they don't want to see.
Well, Jay up with a home run. Again, 4 consecutive games with a homer. Rain falling here at the ballpark. Tigers down 9-5. Game 2 in this doubleheader after winning the opener 4-3.
Remember just a couple of years ago when you would roll into Houston to play the Astros, and the one guy you'd want to duck would be Dallas Keuchel.
No question.
Now he's the one guy you want to see.
Yeah, he's lower on the totem pole now.
I mean, they got Verlander and Garrett Cole is pitching ridiculous baseball, and you got McCullers and Morton.
Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Haniger. Cano and then Cruz will follow. 3-run 7th, the big inning late in this game for Seattle. Here's the 0-2. All the way to the backstop. Here is what's transpiring early on in the West. Houston, many felt, was going to run away with that division. The Angels playing pretty good baseball.
Are the Angels the surprise team in baseball right now for you? One of them.
I'd have to think about that, but yeah, you know, I guess because they've got a lot of talent, you wouldn't think of them as a surprise, but there's a base hit to right field.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily have the kind of pitching that would only have them a half a game behind the Houston Astros right now, do they?
You know who I think is a surprise in the other ways, Cleveland. I didn't think they'd play this poorly. I mean, they're 500 right now.
No doubt.
I mean, they may take off, but that's kind of been a surprise for him. But yeah, I guess the Angels would be there.
Yeah, we were talking about the Indians a little earlier. Their bullpen's a little out of whack.
Here's the other surprise. I didn't think Chicago would be as bad as they are this year.
Oh, no.
9 wins. Ball 1 to Cano. Seattle now with 11 hits in this game. Cano, a 3-run homer and a single. He has scored a couple of runs. Haniger at first base with a leadoff single. Here's the 1-0. Way outside. 2-0 on Cano. Sappold, Farmer, Carpenter, Stump, and Coleman out of the Tigers bullpen here in the nightcap. Michael Fulmer taken out in the 5th inning. He went 4 1/3 tonight, gave up 2 long balls. Way outside, 3-0. Series finale coming up tomorrow on Mother's Day, and then Cleveland will be coming to town beginning on Monday.
And Blaine Hardy will be making his first ever start in the major leagues tomorrow afternoon. And going up against James Paxton of the Seattle Mariners.
Paxton has a great nickname. He's from Canada, so they call him the Big Maple. It's a great nickname.
The Big Maple.
Here's the 3-1. Chopper to the second baseman, should be 2. Machado flips for 1, relay, double play. 4-6-3, 2 gone.
And we were talking about Francisco Lindor with the 2 homers and the 2 doubles, but he lost a bet to his high school team. He said, if you guys went undefeated, I would shave my hair. The team went undefeated, and he paid up his bet.
What do you think?
I don't like that.
No, I think he looks better
with the blonde hair.
With the
yeah.
blonde hair.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. He kept true to his word.
Yeah, he did. Not only that, he showed up at the school on an off day.
On an off day, right? There's a ball outside to Nelson Cruz.
Those kids had to be thrilled when they saw him walking into the gym.
Oh, man. Beyond belief, I would think. Lindor has turned into a great player. 2-0 Nelson Cruz.
Somebody keeping the score down there.
Yeah. Rain doesn't matter.
Don't want that score booked in that scorecard to go. Oh, they made a mistake. She's erasing it. Uh-oh.
Two and 1 on Cruz. Nine, 5 Seattle. It's way outside again. 3-1 now on Cruz. Corey Seager waiting on deck. There's a strike call.
Big night for Nelson Cruz. And 3 singles. 1 to right, 1 to left, 1 to center.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. So we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Mark another one down on the score sheet. Here is our game summary. Seattle on top here in the nightcap. Nicholas Castellanos left the game with a finger contusion, hit by a pitch in the first inning. Off night for Michael Fulmer tonight, Rod.
It really was an off night. He threw 31 pitches in the very first frame, and a lot of those were fastballs. A lot of them were up in the strike zone. But then he went out there and kind of settled in for the next couple of frames. But you got to give Seattle some credit. It's a good hitting team, and they were able to do something against Michael that very few teams are able to do, and that's hit 2 homers in one game against Michael Fulmer.
Juan Nicasio is in now for Seattle.
And Nicasio's got a really good arm. Fastball slider for the most part. 70% of the time he'll throw you that fastball. It gets into the mid-90s. Average 93 with his heater. And when not doing that, he's throwing you a slider.
Pete Cosmo leads it off. Cosmo, Machado, and then Matuk. Nicasio replaces Vincent, who replaced Pazos. They got 5 tonight out of Felix Hernandez. Nicasio, a long look. Here's the 0-1. Parts of 8 major league seasons in the big leagues with Colorado, Dodgers, Pittsburgh, Philly, St. Louis, now Seattle. Sliced foul. 1-2 on Cosmo.
He's got a good arm. That last fastball, 94. To Pete Cosmo, called up just a couple of days ago. And met the team in Texas and homered in that game.
Chopped to the ground with the shortstop, ranging left. Romine throws him out. 1 gone here in the 8th. We'll bring up Machado. Dixon, a single, a strikeout, and a fly ball. The Mariners trying to keep their streak going of not having lost a road series. They've won 5 and have split 2. And they need a win here tonight and then to win tomorrow, so we'll see if that transpires. But they've been a good road team.
I was reading an article on the Seattle Mariners, and it said that Nelson Cruz, because they had some new teammates this year, had about 7 or 8 guys come down to Miami in the offseason, and they worked out together, had some nice dinners together for about a week, kind of bonded together as a team. They did it in the offseason, and they feel like that really paid huge dividends for guys kind of getting to know one another and you know, making that a little easier to get to know somebody when you're doing it in the offseason versus spring training.
It's pretty cool. I know spring training is a lot of times it's used for that. 1-2 the count on Dixon.
And Tigers have a close-knit group this year as well. A lot of guys get along with one another. It's not always the case, but you always play together.
Chemistry is a funny thing. Sometimes you really don't know if you've got it until guys have been around each other for several months.
Right. You can tell these guys, they generally like each other.
Here's the 1-2. 2-2 now on Dixon. Top of the order, Mikey Matuk waiting on deck. Fouled away as he came back with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, tried to get it by him.
The first game of the doubleheader was a pretty quick game this afternoon. This nightcap has slowed down quite a bit. A lot more runs, a lot more hits, a lot more pitches being thrown.
Yeah, pretty quick is not the way I would describe game 2. Again, the 2-2, swing and a miss, and Machado is out of there, 2 gone. You know, they've had some wet weather here, Rod, and we've had it all of April. How about yesterday? Did you see this in Wisconsin?
I did see this, a softball game, Big Ten softball tournament.
They had to use a helicopter to dry out the field.
How about that?
So you talk about making good use of your resources. That is the world's largest blow dryer right there. You got the field in plague shape.
That's all that mattered.
2 gone now, and here is Matuk.
And you got to have some kind of skills, though, to be that low and
hover it, yeah,
hovering over the field. You know what I mean?
Here's the 1-0 pitch. In on his hands, chopped it back to the mound. They're ruling that a foul ball.
I don't know what they're going to rule. No one's made.
No.
What is it going to be, Mr. Ortiz?
No, finally, I guess they're walking up the field saying he's out. Nobody made a call on that play. Mikey thought it was a foul ball.
Carlos Torres did nothing.
Now Steve Little coming out wants an explanation. Seattle's walking off the field. Let's see.
That's a foul ball. Didn't that hit him in his leg?
Well, it looked like it did, but I don't think the Tigers are going to win this. It's going to be an out. That'll be the end of the inning. So the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 8th. Mikey can't believe it.
Sam, update. The Tigers had 12 hits in game 1 of this series, went on to win by a final of 4-3. The Mariners have come back with 11 hits in the nightcap, and game 2 is really essentially boiled down to pitching, seems.
It really has, Mick, and it's unfortunate Michael Fulmer stubbed his toe tonight. He wasn't able to get the necessary outs that he needed today, and then the bullpen has struggled a little bit as well. But we're going to get all into it on the post-game show, so make sure you guys stick around.
Tigers also lost some firepower when they lost Nick Castellanos after the first inning with a hand injury. We'll have the latest on his status when we take you into the clubhouse after the game for all the post-game reaction to this one. And we may or may not hear from Ron Gardenhire. Guys, as you know, he had to leave this one early this evening as well. We'll see you immediately following the game on Tigers Live.
All right, guys, thanks. Zach Reiniger, in the meantime, will take over now in the 9th inning for the Tigers.
Yeah, Zach was pitching some pretty good baseball down in Toledo. 11 games. He had 3 saves and 3 opportunities. The ERA a shade over 2.5, and he punched out 15 and walking only 4. He's got a mid-90s fastball.
Kyle Seager leads it off and looks at strike 1. Seager, Healy, Gamble.
There you have it. First pitch, 95.
Playing to pull on the infield against Seager. Kyle tonight with a couple of doubles and a couple of RBIs. Had a big 2-run double his last at bat. And he'll look at a ball outside, 1-1 on Seager.
And they shift on Seager just about every time he goes to the dish, and they've been trying to get him to start to utilize left center field and left field a little bit more frequently, especially with 2 strikes. I was looking at some of their hitters yesterday and their hits by direction. They've got several guys in their starting lineup that are dead pull hitters, and it's kind of strange to me they'd have that many pull hitters when they had a hitting coach in Edgar Martinez, who was outstanding at hitting the ball up the middle and the other way.
Yeah, that's a great point. Edgar was as good as anybody at that.
Oh, he could swing that magic wand.
1-2 is fouled away.
Maglio Ordonez gave Edgar Martinez all the credit when Maglio won that batting title, because Maglio said it was Edgar Martinez was the one that told him, start to use right field a little bit more. You're just too pull happy. And Maglio had a ton of hits to right field that year when he won the batting title. Didn't he hit like 363 or something?
363, correct. What a great year for Mags.
There you go.
Soft line drive to left, base hit.
That's exactly what they're trying to get him to do with 2 strikes. Exactly what they're trying to get him to do.
Leadoff man on now for Seattle.
You had 2 strikes. They've already overshifted on you. Why not try to drive it the other way, especially if they're going to pitch you away?
Seager now with 3 hits in the nightcap.
Yeah, Mariners bats have woken up here in the second game of the doubleheader. 9 runs on 12 hits.
Which really, I guess, accentuates how well Matt Boyd pitched in game 1.
Oh, he was money. A lot of soft contact off the bats of the Mariners in game 1. Matthew was using his slider very effectively. His changeup was really good, fading away from the righties, elevating the fastball.
Healy takes ball 1. 345 over his last 15 for Healy now.
He's got serious power. I mean, serious power. Hit 25 home runs last year, not playing in a home run friendly ballpark either.
No. High fly ball. That's into center field for Jones. He's got it measured. Runner tagging but holding. One gone now for Gamble. Got the battle of hairdos here with Gamble and Reininger.
Reininger's a little bit shorter this year than it was last year, though. Last year, he pretty much had hair exactly like Gamble.
Yeah, it's actually much shorter. Ball 1. Reininger pitched at 3 levels last year before getting his first big league opportunity in August. In there, a strike called, 1-1. Reininger, an 8th round pick of the Tigers in 2013, went to Hill College in Texas. Sliced on a line, there's 1 and 2, a double play.
Nice job, Pete Cosma. He's played a real nice game of shortstop here today.
6-3 double play sends us to the bottom of the 9th.
in tomorrow's contest, and all he did last time out was throw a no-hitter against the Toronto Blue Jays. His fastball got up to 100 miles an hour on pitch 98, and pitch number 99, it was 99 miles an hour. Kyle Seager, also third baseman, made a couple of outstanding plays in that game for James Paxton. That's the 6th no-hitter in Seattle Mariners franchise history.
And the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Blaine Hardy will oppose James Paxton tomorrow.
Blaine Hardy will be making his first major league start against the team he grew up rooting for, the Seattle Mariners.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 9th, and Dan Altavilla will take over now.
And 438 earned run average. The whip sits at 138. He's been in 13 games this year.
He's got Candelario, then Reyes, then Martinez due up. 9-5, Seattle in the lead. We play in the bottom of the 9th. Playing to pull on Candelario. In there for strike one. Checked it, but he went, and strike two call. Candy here in the nightcap is 0 for 3 with a walk. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in the opener. Little high, and 1-2 now. 41 appearances out of the bullpen last year for Altavilla, and an ERA of over 4. Chilly, rainy night here for the nightcap. Swing and a miss. Candy is out on strikes.
And tip of the cap to the Tigers fans that have stuck around here tonight.
No doubt. Tigers played at 4 o'clock and a straight doubleheader because of the rain out yesterday. There's Victor Reyes.
How many doubleheaders is this now we've played already? 4?
Played 4, and we got one more coming up with the Yanks. I think we've reached our allotment of day-night doubleheaders. I'm not sure we can play any more of those. So that's why we had a straight doubleheader today. And we had one in Pittsburgh as well.
And Toronto, when they leave here tomorrow afternoon, they're going to have to fly to Minnesota for a 1-game makeup.
You mean Seattle?
Seattle. No,
Yeah.
Is it in Seattle or is it?
No,
it's in Minnesota.
No, he's in Toronto. Seattle will leave tomorrow.
Oh, Seattle. Yeah. Yes, and fly to Minnesota.
1 ball, 1 strike on Reyes.
So they don't get their day off.
Nope. And those, as we know, are golden. Pounded back out of play. 1-2 on Victor Reyes. Nick Castellanos hit by pitch in the first inning. Reyes pinch hit for him in the second. He is 0 for 3 in the game. Here's the 1-2. Foul away again. 99.
Well, they got 2 cats in their bullpen getting up to triple digits.
Apparently so. And Reyes hanging tough. Vimard on deck. Tigers trailed 6-2. They got it to within 6-5 with a 3-run 5th. But then a 3-run 7th rebuilt the lead for Seattle. In the air to center field. Gordon coming on, sliding to make the catch. 2 away. bring up Victor.
And he told you Gordon is a second baseman by trade, but really learning how to play center field.
So Vemart is the Tigers' last chance. He is 0 for 4. He's put the ball on the ground twice to the second baseman in his last 2 at-bats. Ball 1. Altavilla now with the 1-0 pitch. Slammed out of play, 1 ball in, 1 strike.
Yeah, that fastball at 98 miles an hour.
Tigers got to Felix Hernandez in this game. They scored 5 on him. They scored 3 in the 5th inning to tighten that ball game up. But the bullpen for the Mariners has done a really good job since coming out of the 6th. They have limited the Tigers to just 1 hit, their bullpen. Driven to right field. That is hooking down the line and foul. 2-2 on Vemart. Don't forget tomorrow, Mother's Day being celebrated here at the ballpark. Pink out the park. We'll have a lot of fun with that. And don't forget Simo's wardrobe.
He's not going to wear a pink suit.
I'm telling you, man.
A pink suit?
He does not run away from a challenge. It's going to be hilarious.
That's right. I hear y'all talking about it.
Lurking.
I'm lurking over here.
There's a grounder to second. Should be the ball game, and it is. So Seattle wins the nightcap. Now we send it to the Coliseum Studios. Mickey York, Craig Monroe standing by with Tigers live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. The Tigers settle for a Saturday split. They'll talk game 2 and where this one got away. Michael Fulmer will address his frustrations tonight. We'll hear what issues the Tigers have with home plate umpire Carlos Torres and the latest on Nick Castellanos' hand injury coming up next on Tigers Live.